Damn.
Before we go,
you know, Ethan, because he can't resist watching any content or can't resist reading anything about himself, he watched through the whole thing and he probably got so pissed off by the end of it. But like the good little pussy that he is, he won't actually react to it on stream. Let's go. Let's go.
Hasan Piker is a genuine douchebag, extremely unintelligent, probably as politically illiterate as me on most things, and I literally know nothing.
Why is that the metric that you use? As politically illiterate as me, dude? Okay, dude.
A complete fucking normie who doesn't care about politics.
Nicholas Deorio is the owner of a pair of mid-sized commentary YouTube channels. His following is somewhere around 150,000 people, and he's known for covering new online dramas and his Ultimate Rape Review segment.
I'm the host of Ultimate Rape Review.
Whenever people remind me of this, that he has a show called Ultimate Rape Review, I forget. And then I immediately like black out for like 10 seconds, and I'm like, what was happening? And then every time I remember, it happens again. And again. And again. And again.
Nick has been involved in the commentary genre for almost a decade. He's been closely associated with figures like Tommy C, Turkey Tom, Willie Mac, and other longtime contributors to online drama coverage. He's not the biggest name, but he is well established, and he's seen as somebody with credibility in these circles. And part of that is because historically, Nick has always positioned himself as being somebody with principles. He was always one of the most outspoken.
Who believes that about him?
Creators about things like targeting sponsors.
Attacking YouTube sponsors is generally like a negative thing to do. Attacking sponsors, doxing, like there's a handbook of things like you just can't do. I'm not a supporter of targeting anyone's revenue. I think it can damage the entire landscape.
Or abusing copyright.
There's also the issue regarding rapid copyright abuse on the platform that YouTube has done nothing about. Chris has been ban evading and breaking TOS through multiple false copyright strikes. YouTubers who abuse built-in support systems to silence creators who are critical of them are the worst of the worst.
And defending free speech.
Oh, what's that? The Jeff Holiday? Apparently Jeff takes a holiday from free speech. He locked replies and attempted to silence criticism. I have no fucking problem with anybody being a leftist, as long as you don't try to infringe upon my free speech.
So because of that outspokenness and his proximity to other large creators, Nick was always a somewhat prominent voice, helping enforce the core standards for his corner of the internet. However, recently, Nicholas has pivoted to covering almost exclusively Ethan Klein and his enemies, or to put it more specifically, sucking Ethan Klein's balls for 25 hours a week.
What I think Ethan should do is he should use the GoFundMe money from the lawsuits to buy all of these things. I think he should take all that money and then buy Anissa's house. If everybody can see that what Ethan is doing is so fucked up, then why are you guys getting so much hate? Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan Klein has confirmed that his—
What a stupid argument, by the way. If what Ethan is doing is so fucked up, then why do you guys get all the hate? If slavery is so bad, then why do all the slave owners love having slaves? Oh, are we... Okay, we're just smoking crack now. Hand over the pipe. Come on, I want to get on what you're on, man.
motion to subpoena Reddit and Discord was granted. Ooh.
His relentless positive coverage eventually got him noticed by the Kleins themselves.
I love Nicholas Deorio. I'll say it. I've been watching your content. I think you're a very funny guy.
And I
Not the
I feel
makeup
like
line, not the makeup line. I forgot.
your coverage
Aw,
has been really
dude.
good on topics that I end up watching. Like you're good with research.
He's seen consistent growth in
Like the why is such a bright blue? Why it literally looks like clown makeup? Oh my god, listen. Okay, whatever, it's fine.
subscribers, likely from H3 viewers, ever since he shifted his focus. And as a result, Nick has been cemented as Ethan Klein's #1 lieutenant, his top guy. He is one of the largest pro-Ethan Anti-Hasan mouthpieces on YouTube. And while I'm never one to begrudge somebody making some money, today what we are interested in is what he's had to sacrifice to get it. Nick has become somewhat representative of what it means to be afflicted with the Hasan Bad virus. Unlike some of the other subjects of this video, Nick is in fact not some kind of rapist or pedophile, at least not that I'm aware of. But he is every bit as dishonest as the rest of these guys. And
I mean, one of the only things I know about Nicholas Deorio is that he lied about having a girlfriend, and he like posted a photo of him like with like his hand next to a woman's hand or something, and he was like, my girlfriend. And then the chick replied on Twitter and was like, we're just friends. Like, dude, oh my God, dude. Like, you gotta uninstall, like, delete all your accounts at that point, start over from scratch, dude.
In a lot of ways, he's worse. You see, Nick has spent the last several years carefully fine-tuning a perfect system for lying. A system where he can be as dishonest as he needs to be, use it to his benefit, and avoid almost any consequences. It's a process that, if followed to a T, can lead to massive profit at the cost of your dignity, an exchange that Nick happens to be perfectly happy with. So let's walk through, step by step, exactly how Nicholas Deorio deceives his audience, protects his income, and lies directly to your face.
I can't
Generational aura debt. Stop.
wait to disagree with Ethan Klein again, because I know that he's principled and he actually gives a fuck about what he's saying.
I am left speechless by such a stupid comment. This is the equivalent of like, Trump would never lie to me. He's the best. He wants to help the working class people like you and me.
This is the Nicky D system.
His name just makes me think he's a Sonic character like Nick the Oreo. It's like, you know how Sonic is like the fastest in the universe? He's like the slowest. Sorry. What he's known for.
A story breaks. It's a story that on its face doesn't look very good for Ethan Klein. Ethan is accused of falsely copyright striking numerous clips on the H3 Snark subreddit. At best, Ethan is striking clips that he doesn't have great reason to, and at worst, he's trying to flood the subreddit with copyright notices to try to trigger an automatic ban. Nicholas Deorio has been covering all things Ethan Klein and even Snark for months, so he definitely sees things like this when they pop up, and we do know that he is specifically aware of this story.
I mean, he has copyright struck a literal subreddit. I wouldn't put it past him at all. What the fuck, dude?
But Nick also knows that this story is a problem, because if he covers it honestly, it might involve criticizing Ethan. And if he criticizes Ethan, he could be risking his new association with H3. So Nick considers his options and decides that the best course of action is step 1. Neglect. Simply neglect to cover stories that are unfavorable to Ethan Klein. If you don't talk about it, you don't have to take a position on it. And if you don't take a position on it, nobody can hold you accountable for having the wrong one. Sure, people might expect you to have strong opinions about somebody abusing DMCA.
YouTubers who abuse built-in support systems, multiple false copyright strikes, the issue regarding rapid copyright abuse on the platform.
But that's their problem. Nobody controls your content. You don't have to cover anything.
And people are like, well, Nick, if you go by your principles, you defend these people. My principles don't say I ever have to cover anything on YouTube. They just say that's my principle. I can just go, yeah, dude, I think that this lawsuit is kind of dumb, and then cover something else that day if that's how I really feel. I don't have to defend you. I'm not going to.
See? You can keep talking about Hasan and Snark and H3. You just skip the parts that make Ethan look bad. And that is Nick's preferred way of navigating anything that paints Ethan in a negative light. It's clean. It's safe. Remember when Ethan used Michaela Rain's warm body as a prop for his anti-Snark campaign? Nick, to this day, has never fully covered that story, despite indicating in passing that he disagreed with what Ethan did.
Save a Fox killed herself from on a Snark sub. It is crazy, and yet
Yeah, I completely disagree with this.
Reddit does nothing.
And that was it. He avoided ever saying anything about Ethan directly, which is also what he did with the DMCA story for months. But avoidance kind of has a shelf life. You can't just
Being such an Ethan stan is something my mind cannot comprehend. Dude, it's like, it must be a very sad life. It must be a very sad life. At least like Nicholas Eat Oreo is like making money off of it. At least he's making enough to be able to eat all the Oreos his little heart wants to. Also, Nick literally admitted that he will lean in on Ethan for his career. No, stop, dude. Out loud? Some other guy says before he cut me off, Deorio said he was going to start sucking up to Ethan as a smart career move. Oh my god. Dude.
do it forever. Eventually, something will come up on stream that you can't just look away from. And when that happens, Nick proceeds to step 2. Ignorance. Nick is streaming. He's covering Ethan, or
Nick is streaming. Doesn't hit the same.
iDubbbz, and probably making some kind of a penis joke.
When he said discipline, for some reason, I thought he was gonna be like, my dick. It sounds like they're talking about like their fucking cock, which is iconically the size of iDubbbz' penis. This guy's trying to suck his own dick. Get on your knees and suck dick. Cradle their balls. Cluck my own cock. Suck my cock. Penis. 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 Penis.
Jesus. Anyway,
Huh?
something pops up on screen. something Nick has been trying to avoid, but he's already been doing that for quite a while. He can't make it obvious that he's been hiding from a story, but thankfully he still doesn't really need to say anything bad about Ethan. Not yet. He can simply choose to remain ignorant about the topic. Easy. You haven't looked into it. You don't know enough yet. You're still waiting on more information. Let's go to July of last year. Nick is reacting to this video by Paige Christie about Ethan's war on H3 Snark. Note that this is 7 months after the DMCA story originally became public. Here, Nick summarizes his coverage of the situation to this point.
But the rumor was he was striking people who were doing market replacement type content where it's like intentionally pushing views away from original content. So that was all that I'd said, was if that's the case, that's probably like fine. And again, I was waiting for a formal video to break this down, or I was waiting for Ethan to announce a lawsuit. We mentioned this like fucking multiple times. I was waiting to see what would actually get taken down.
Okay, but the problem here is that this was a breakdown video. The breakdown video is on screen right now. The documentation from Ethan's own attorneys is publicly—
I mean, again, these people are so like, they have to be as, sorry, how do I explain this? A big part of being a conservative or like being on the right, whether that's online or offline or on Fox or on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, is that you don't actually have like principles and you don't have like values and you don't have like systems that you follow about what you say when you say it. It's just, there are no bad tactics, there's only bad targets. And as long as we're taking down the people we don't like, you can do anything you want to do. And you only use these things as justification for what you actually want to do. The best example of this is owning the libs. No, the best example of this is this post. I don't know how many of you guys saw it. They kind of like gave away the game and kind of lost the plot with this. Here, another foot fungi in the wild, another Ethan stan in the wild. It's a post from Casey Tron quote tweeting the fact that Ethan Klein was like zooming in on Anissa on like a snark subreddit and screenshotting posts about her and like photos of her. And Casey Tron said, I think that as influencers, we can all get a bit caught up, but this is so mentally unwell. He's so in his own echo chamber, he won't even acknowledge how unhealthy it is. Also, creepy as fuck. He's been creepy as fuck to this woman for over a year now. Leave her alone. I'm going to read this post and you guys tell me if anything stands out to you. Was there no non-disparagement clause in her settlement agreement? Like she fundraised by streaming a movie with no transformative commentary while being sued for copyright infringement? So she would be stupid enough to keep attacking Ethan when it could get her sued again. A non-disparagement clause in a copyright lawsuit? In a copyright... Wait, you wouldn't admit that all of this was just about silencing Ethan's critics and it had nothing to do ever about React content, right? Oh, you would. Oh, you would. The best part of this tweet is all the replies calling this out finally. Why would there be a non-disparagement clause in a copyright case? He was just protecting his copyright after all. He totally didn't want to silence his critics. Nice to see people admit that the lawsuit was actually never about copyright and was actually about silencing his critics. We aren't friends, but you should consider this an intervention. You need help. A lot of it seems like you have no friends and family to stop your manic spiral, and it's unlikely you'll listen to me, but you need help. She was sued for copyright infringement, not defamation, and then it is a slur. Like, are we good? Like, and here we see the remaining FUPA troopers basically admit that the lawsuit had nothing to do with copyright and everything to do with silencing women. Oh, right. Again, it's almost like the copyright lawsuit was never about copyright and was always about stop being mean to Ethan Klein. Stop! Stop being mean to him. You shouldn't be allowed to say this about him. You can't just say what you want. Because if it actually was about copyright and teaching the React people a lesson and trying to have fair React content, we wouldn't care what she says about him and how we can sue her and stop her from speaking her mind. It's almost like it never was about React content and it's just him leveraging his power and his wealth to bully people that he knows he can bully. Wow, that's so crazy, right? Isn't that insane?
Available in that video, along with some examples of what was getting struck. But does Nick take the few minutes he would need to learn about that information? No. In fact, he never even reacted to this video. He only pulled up this small snippet while covering a completely different topic. And Nick made sure the whole time to performatively remind his viewers how little he wanted to watch Paige's video.
I hope they all find employment soon.
Mueller
Paige
rolls
Christie.
are gone,
You escaped
people.
being a segment a couple of months ago, Paige Christie.
Careful.
Did you make a snark defense video that we never actually got around to watch? This one.
Klein.
I got 2 seconds. You can tell I got 2 seconds into it.
It's pretty unsurprising to me that Paige escaped becoming a segment on Nick's channel. You see, in situations like this, Nick isn't actually waiting on more information. He's waiting for the story to go away. Sometimes he'll be scrolling around on stream, and Nick might accidentally stumble upon some of that information that he's supposedly waiting on.
Okay. Do this or get sued, your only option to avoid litigation. You provide our office with all correspondence you had with the moderators of H3 Snark. Oh, so I guess this is like, I guess this is happening now. This is happening, the H3 Snark lawsuit.
Uh-oh, that letter looks kind of bad for Ethan, doesn't it? How will Nick respond?
Keep in mind that federal court filings are public. Anyone performing a simple Google search on you, let alone background check, will discover this information. You have
Not the audible gulp.
a simple Google search on you, let alone background check, will discover this information. You have until March 25th, 2025 at 5 p.m. to agree to these terms. So I don't know when this was sent. Noah Samson made a community.
He just streams past it. No curiosity, no interest in learning more about it. We just move on. He's choosing to remain ignorant about the story. Going back to Michaela Raines, this was his playbook also.
I'm not going to cover this story because I feel like there's a ton of misinformation coming out about it. Supposedly this was related to a snark. Apparently the husband's saying it has other... I don't know. A lot of people are making huge sweeping assessments based off this person's suicide.
A lot of people. Like who, Nick? And that's bad, right, Nick?
I'm not going to sit here and speculate on it. Yeah, I don't know. Realistically, I'm not going to delve super deep into an unrelated story to try to investigate on how she died. So that's my stance on that position. What else do we got here?
It's not an unrelated story. It's part of Ethan's entire justification for trying to eliminate snark communities from the internet. This is something Nick has been agreeing with and pushing for months. But because Ethan is the one making the claims about Michaela's death, he all of a sudden doesn't have enough information. We just don't know. I'm not going to speculate. It's not even relevant. This stuff works pretty well on a lot of people. Between these first two steps, Nick can generally do extremely one-sided coverage and cater to a very specific audience without much worry about anybody caring or maybe even noticing. Except when they do. Eventually, people do start noticing. And when they do, Nick moves to step 3. Contingency. People are starting to notice. Something's off. They're watching Nick's coverage, and they're thinking, huh, this guy never criticizes Ethan. It's almost like he's sweeping.
Just the fucking gulp, dude. There is something funny about the people who talk about Hasan orbiters the most frequently are actually the biggest It's always projection, man. It's so weird. It's like, I mean, it's not, but it's just bizarre. Like, why would you give away the game so obviously?
Which is a suggestion that Nick doesn't take too kindly to.
The big sweep might be on.
So this guy stuck a dagger right into my neck the minute we stopped talking. I love this. I'm going to implicate that you're sweeping. And yeah, so I'm going to like rape you in the ass on this one.
You see, Nick works pretty hard at trying to present himself as the guy who always has the correct take. He can't really have people calling his credibility or honesty into question, not just because he needs to protect his brand, but also because he's extremely sensitive. So he does what any good liar does when they start feeling pressure. He starts making sure that he has a way out, a contingency plan. The trick is knowing when to do it. You don't just criticize Ethan at random. You wait for a moment where it's easy and safe to appear critical. Something minor, a slight disagreement or a half criticism, anything you can have on record to point to so you can say that you're impartial. To this point, Nick has neglected to cover the DMCA story, as well as the lawsuit against H3 Snark, and he's also chosen to remain ignorant about the details.
I haven't covered two things.
I care so much about not abusing the copyright system, except when it's happening to people that I don't care about and it would benefit me and I could make profit off of making fun of them. Then I don't care at all. Then it doesn't matter at all. Yes.
Klein. There's the two things I haven't really covered. One being the lawsuit against the Snark subreddits.
But he also knows that the story's not just gonna go away. So at some point along the way, he starts hedging.
Twitch streamers have been DMCAing streamable links and Reddit posts for like a decade. It was extremely common
Small golf. Stop pointing out the golf, dude.
for them to be striking clips. And no, it's not cool. We didn't. Think
It's so pathetic because Nicholas Deorio, he knows that like the second anyone starts striking streams or striking clips, that's like a giga cancelable offense on the internet. Like on the internet, you are not allowed to DMCA people unless it's like a straight up re-upload, like 1-to-1 re-upload. You were not even on the screen. You didn't even pause it once. Everyone is so anti-DMCAing, so anti-copyright abuse. But he has to like pretend like that's not happening with Ethan's lawsuit. And he's like, no, it's valid in this one because it's like the guy doing it is on my side.
it was cool when Dark Viper struck the clip of him getting mad at Among Us. When you're just doing 30-second clips, 40-second clips. And if that was what Ethan was striking down, if they weren't supposed to be...
Linity almost got executed for joking about it. And I'm pretty sure Pokimane got like lambasted completely for DMCAing someone once.
market substitutes for segments like don't give the stream the view, watch it here. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of shitty. That's kind of cringy.
For Nick, this type of statement is an escape hatch.
But the problem is, oh my God, it's so tiring. It's just so tiring watching people be so dishonest on every front and just cope over and over again and pretend like statements mean what they want them to mean.
It's a hypothetical criticism where he doesn't actually commit to anything. If that's what Ethan was doing, it would be kind of cringy. Like he's not actually giving his opinion on the topic, but the statement is on the record now. If anyone accuses Nick of sweeping for Ethan, he now has this clip he can point to and say, see, I did disagree with Ethan all along. He did the same thing when Ethan went after sponsors, something Nick has loudly opposed for years.
I'm not a supporter of targeting anyone's revenue. I think it can damage the entire landscape.
But listen to Nick's attitude on this behavior now.
I'm not in favor of attacking sponsors. I haven't used my audience specifically to go push this further like that. I don't like that stuff. Realistically, there's not much of a way to hold Twitch to account. The weird double standard that Hasan gets for all of his friends, this is a corrupt platform. And I think it does need to be destroyed. That's my personal opinion. I don't.
You should never go after sponsors ever, except when like I don't like those people, so it's okay.
With Dan Saltman's methods to target sponsors the way that he has, I agree a bit more with the way that Ethan did it because he was targeting TwitchCon, going over like the panel that they approved. But like, this site was always going to have an adpocalypse. This was happening either way.
It's kind of giving, if I don't steal it, someone else will steal it.
It's this weird half condemnation where he presents like he still has his older, more principled position.
I'm not in favor of attacking sponsors,
but literally everything else he says goes against it.
This is a corrupt platform, and I think it does need to be destroyed. This was happening either way.
You're not against targeting.
We were gonna have an adpocalypse anyways. If someone else would have stolen it. If I didn't, I had to steal it.
Sponsors, Nick, you're supporting it. You're just playing both sides so you can defend yourself no matter what. Nick actually does this all the time. He gives these mealy-mouthed, tepid, half-baked criticisms, where he's not really fucking saying anything meaningful, but then he'll go and point to them later as evidence that he's unbiased. Junk Drawer Gaming, a small commentary channel, helped identify this pattern in a recent video pointing out the massive holes in Nick's coverage. Specifically, the fact that he had never directly addressed Ethan exploiting Michaela's death.
But despite boldly disagreeing with Ethan on this over 6 months later, Nick still has never addressed Ethan weaponizing this woman's death to bolster his campaign to remove his detractor base from the internet.
And Nick's response, predictably, was to claim that he had in fact already criticized Ethan for this, but he can't possibly be referring to this.
I'm not going to cover this story because I feel like there's a ton of misinformation coming out about it.
Or this.
Yeah,
I'm not going to cover it because there's a ton of misinformation. And by that I mean, I'm not going to cover it because it makes Ethan look bad that he used someone's death as a way to push a lawsuit. Okay.
I completely disagree with this.
So this supposed criticism must be this.
If we're going to make a critique towards Ethan, the one that sticks in the back of my mind, I think we covered it briefly.
No, you didn't.
There was a clip that came out. What was it? Someone killed themselves on Reddit or something?
Okay, already. Why does it seem like he's just pretending to not remember the details of the story?
And they were blaming like a snark subreddit that did it?
No, not they. Ethan. Ethan was the main person pushing this talking point.
But then a couple hours later, once people did research, it realistically didn't have anything to do with, or it didn't play a large role in what happened to that person. Like the snark community was extremely small. And then it kind of got pushed into like, this is the danger of snark communities or whatever.
It got pushed.
Dude, the passive language, wow. What are we covering? Israel? And then, miraculously, somehow, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians died. They just died. Homes destroyed in Gaza. They were just destroyed. One day we woke up and they were destroyed. No more schools available in Gaza. No hospitals available in Gaza. Oh, I don't know. They just got Thanos snapped like magic. What is this? Oh, this narrative got pushed. And that doesn't seem like... Really?
It got pushed. You mean Ethan pushed it? Ethan exploited a woman's death for his own personal benefit. But Nick will never say those words. He'll instead say things like this.
I think like maybe waiting to kind of see how things turn out before jumping on that would benefit everybody.
So Nick's key criticism of Ethan was actually just him giving general advice on how it will be good for everybody to do more patient research, and he avoids saying that Ethan did anything wrong. And now he's waving it around as proof that he's not a complete hack, and he's just hoping nobody goes back and checks. But by this point, the criticism is starting to mount. People aren't just asking about Ethan, they're asking about Nick. And that's a different kind of problem, because you can't exactly sweep criticism of yourself under the rug. You can either address it, or you can kill it.
Let me.
Nick is starting to feel some heat. People are asking questions, such as why the guy who built his career on things like standing up against copyright abuse is suddenly silent when Ethan Klein does it. And every criticism of Ethan that goes unanswered is a criticism of Nick for not answering it. And he's aware of that. So when Nick runs cover for Ethan, he's running cover for himself too. People are talking about him, and Nick's go-to way of dealing with it is to do absolutely anything he can to simply disrupt the conversation, change the subject and make it about something else, reframe the attacks and make them sound completely different. Anything he can do to just kill the criticism. His favorite tactic is, instead of actually responding to things, he'll just try to flip them around on the person making the point.
Why did none of these people speak up against... I don't even understand. None of these people spoke up against Bad Empanada when he struck my Twitter 3 times? Are you serious? That's so crazy, guy. It's almost like they're team sports.
The criticism is about Ethan, Nick. Nobody was asking if everyone else is being consistent. What do you think?
Well, these other people aren't being consistent. Why don't they say anything about it? What the hell? Then bring it up.
Think about what Ethan is doing.
I mean, it's kind of giving... Do you know, there's one very specific type of man moment that pisses me off, and it pisses everybody else off because it's so transparent, where if you bring up rape statistics or sexual assault statistics or domestic abuse statistics, there's like one in I don't know what number, 1,000 dudes, 100,000 dudes will be like, men get assaulted too. It's like, you know what's crazy? You only ever seem to bring up men getting assaulted when people are trying to have a conversation about women getting assaulted. And otherwise, you never bring it up. Which makes me feel like you actually don't even care about either of these things. You just want to use this one so nobody talks about this other one. That's crazy, actually. That's insane. That's actually crazy. And it's the same thing here. It's like, well, you guys didn't bring up Bad Empanada. It's like, that's crazy. You could actually just address what's being talked about here, what's being spoken about here, instead of deflecting to some other bullshit.
But Nick still uses this move literally all the time.
And if that was what Ethan was striking down, if they weren't supposed to be market substitutes for segments like, don't give the stream the view, watch it here. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of shitty. That's kind of cringy. But none of these people operate in like the same world, I guess. Bad Empanada striking a clip of a video that I own most of the content of, that's fine because Nick...
Also, what a funny statement, by the way. Well, they're not consistent with their values, so I'm not going to be consistent with my values. Huh? Sorry. I was rude.
Deorio is bad, but Ethan Klein doing it is horrible because Ethan Klein is trying to censor people. By the way, I'm gonna need every single person who has the take on stream that going after sponsors is bad. I'm gonna need their takes audited. I wanna know what they said 5 years ago about Keemstar. I wanna know what they said about Pokimane. I need their take on all these situations to know if they're just sweeping. But the rumor was he was striking people who were doing market replacement type content. So that was all that I'd said, was if that's the case, that's probably like fine.
Okay, other than obviously straight ripping, like straight re-uploading, like you're not on camera, you didn't speak once, like it's literally like a fan channel or whatever, and you're just re-uploading the full thing somewhere else without any permission. Because obviously that is just like re-uploading. The only other instance that I think you should do DMCAing is like, do you guys remember, it still sort of happens right now, but those accounts on Twitter that put steak ads on everything, and then they like misrepresent what happened in the clip, and it's like, Cutie Cinderella says she likes it raw? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And it's a steak ad, and it's like chopped up to fuck. And what she's actually saying is like, oh yeah, I like to make raw cookie dough because the raw cookie dough is really tasty. You just need to make sure you don't put any eggs in there. And you're like, what the fuck? I think streamers should DMCA the fuck out of those accounts. The ones that are straight up just like misrepresenting completely, chopping up and producing a brand new different clip to make it sound like something is happening that's not happening, and then putting a fucking steak ad on top of it, those accounts, that's like obscene. I'm sorry. And if you disagree, you're wrong on that one. I'm sorry. Like that's like this was one of the few instances where I really kind of respected Extra Emily. Well, not few instances. One of the respectable things that Extra Emily did were there were multiple clips calling her out for like the red light thing, and she didn't DMCA any of those, and then she apologized. And then Extra Emily had like that one clip where it was like going around, and they were making it seem like this joke she had with her dad about like paying him back for school, and they were obviously joking. And then the tweet that was all over the place with a bunch of steak ads on it was like, she actually is not going to pay her dad back because she hates fathers, question mark. And she DMCA'd. That's valid to me. That's valid to me. If someone is completely, entirely misrepresenting everything, and especially when they're making it like, this is like, I think men and women should be DMCAing when they make them weirdly sexual. Like, I hate scrolling, and it's like, female streamer noticed low viewership, so she started throwing it back. And it's like a streamer that's like just getting up. It's just like a woman getting up and is like, I'm gonna go pee. And she just like walks away, like, like a normal steak ad. Fuck you. If you are in charge of one of those Twitter accounts, fuck you. Literally. Like, just stop. And they do it to like every female streamer. It'll be like, I've seen the Poke ones, I've seen Sinnoh ones, I've seen Emeru ones, I've seen Valkyrie ones. It's very fucking weird. It's just so weird. All the comments here for the plot. Yeah, to be like, Sinnoh had low viewership, question mark. So she starts throwing it back, and this is the whole clip. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go pee. All right, I'm back. And then they'll like slow it down, so it's like, what are we doing? Like, So to all streamers who've had that happen to them, who've had steak ads put on their content without their consent, and every clip is clip chimp to fuck, those accounts should not be using your content. I don't care. DMCA those accounts. The ones that do that shit, the steak ads with like the most gross fucking caption, please. Now Denims is throwing it. Denims experiencing low viewership, so she starts throwing it back? Question mark? And I think those are the only valid uses. I think those are I don't know who, this is like such an ice cold take. There's no way anyone disagrees with me. If you disagree with me, I think you actually probably just hate women, I think. There's no one that can disagree with this.
No, he's not. I'd say that would be fair also, but that's not what he's doing. I have a question.
Also, half the time in the clip, they don't even talk about what the caption says. I know! It'll be like, I'm trying to like think of a streamer. Name a woman. It'll be like, Valkyrie says she thinks the burnt peanut is disgusting, and the clip is like, oh, I like most VTubers, and that's the whole clip. It's like, Did we watch the same? And they know most people don't even watch the videos on Twitter. Like, most of the time, people are not even watching the videos on Twitter. They read the caption and they're like, I can't believe she would even fucking say that. Bungaloo gang, rise up. You're probably from Iran or something. And you live in metal house. Stupid, idiot, done, send. Like, am I just like secretly like watching like the Truman Show, but like every single human being is internet comment etiquette, but genuinely? Like, that's what I feel like I'm living through. Okay, but everything outside of that is like cringe as shit, dude.
So what is Paige Christie's current position on the Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron lawsuits? Are we going to maintain this position? I'm just curious, because I feel like mine's fairly consistent. Are we going to maintain this position that that would be fair also? I'm just wondering.
Clearly, instead of actually engaging with what's being said and potentially saying anything bad about Ethan, Nick would rather just aimlessly hypocrisy hunt. Anything to avoid being honest. Another one of Nick's favorite maneuvers is to just completely change what's being said about him, like when people point out his totally biased coverage.
And most of these guys have been doing the Ethan Klein. Oh, Nick, you cover Ethan Klein too much. I'm sorry, I have 3 segments from the last stream. Would you like me to post a 7-hour video instead? I gotta cut it up into pieces. Dude, it's the Great War being fought on the battlefield of like, I don't care about Ethan Klein anymore and I'm lashing out. I said I was so caught off guard by you saying that I was loyal to Ethan to a fault because we had spoken about this topic and I didn't realize you thought that I was a principleless sellout. It completely caught me off guard. I interpreted at the time as you being upset that EHD was a content black hole where no other.
I'm going to say something that's, I think to most people won't make any sense, but I don't care. I'm going to say it anyways. All of this segment, all it's told me is that Nicholas Deorio is someone who is hard stuck silver, but he blames his team every single time. That, like, I've become convinced. Maybe he's seen gold in like one game in his life and like maybe, I don't know what games he plays, what video games he plays, but perhaps. And he always blames his team. Ever. Like forever. That's just the vibe that I get as him as like a person. No, he's pushing for silver. He's bronze, bro.
Stories were getting attention, and you were holding me almost personally responsible.
So this is the, oh, you just think of...
Who does he even appeal to? I think he appeals to people who think that they're Eric Cartman in real life, and nobody understands their twisted mind, but really everybody just doesn't like them.
Talking about Ethan too much. No, it's not just that. If you were just talking about Ethan and it was, you know, fair, whatever, there's obviously a criticism that I've got of, seems like you're being very favorable towards Ethan a lot, to a fault, you know?
So when someone says your coverage of Ethan is dishonest, Nick pretends they're saying, that Nicholas Deorio guy, he talks about Ethan Klein too much. He's responding to a criticism that literally nobody made, and simultaneously trying to make his detractors sound very, very stupid. And if anyone is simply 100 IQ enough to see through all of this, friends or colleagues who might want to challenge Nick on his behavior, Nick just cuts them off. Kills the conversation entirely.
Guys, key update.
I thought you said Eric Kirkman, sorry. You know, it's honestly totally possible I did have a Freudian slip of some kind and say Eric Kirkman, but I think I said Kerman, but maybe I didn't, who knows.
Nicholas Deorio has now blocked me on Twitter. Nicholas Deorio has now officially blocked me on Twitter.
He's not interested in maintaining any friendships. He's not interested in defending his viewpoints. He's not interested in being an honest creator. He's only interested in one thing: being a yes man. All of these little tactics and maneuvers that Nick pulls, those aren't the goal. The goal was always to find a way to become the #1 Ethan Klein ball washer.
Remember when this was like the worst thing ever? Remember when all these guys are like, Ethan Klein can't take criticism because they're posting shit saying you should watch this as an alternative to his actual content? Now we're just striking clips again. This is Bad Empanado all over again. These guys total hypocrites, dude. Total fucking hypocrites. This is insane.
Did you notice what happened there? 9 months have passed. Nick has never meaningfully covered the copyright strikes or the filings for the lawsuit against Stage 3.
This is something that I think, like, I know it's dishonest on their part, but it's like kind of obscene how dishonest it is and people just don't care. There is such a thing as your hypocrisy versus my hypocrisy. You calling out someone else's hypocrisy does not absolve you of your own hypocrisy. If your value system is to not be misogynistic, pointing out that other people say that their value system is not misogynistic and they are, doesn't magically absolve you of your hypocrisy. You're only pointing out their hypocrisy. You don't magically get to be a hypocrite because other people are being a hypocrite. You're just using that as an excuse to trick stupid people into thinking that you made a point and you epically owned or whatever. If these other people in question are hypocrites, that doesn't magically make you not a hypocrite. So this hypothetical person that exists, that Nicholas Deorio is Nicholas Eat Oreo, excuse me. Sorry about dead naming him. That Nicholas Eat Oreo is talking about, where he's saying like, these people were all talking about how you shouldn't abuse copyright, and now they're abusing copyright. Okay, even if they're hypocrites, that doesn't magically make it so that you're not a hypocrite. You are still one then. You're saying you shouldn't abuse it, and then you're ignoring when it's abused, and you're only pointing out when other people are hypocrites. Again, that doesn't make you less of a hypocrite. I saw this with like, this is the tweet I wanted to show earlier, but I couldn't find it, where like that fucking, the Ethan fucking Bizarro, the lady who like simps for Ethan or whatever, and she's like, Ethan is not a misogynist and he's never been one ever. He just called that woman a prostitute because she's a fucking prostitute and a whore. You can tell from the way she's dressed or whatever the fuck. I'm joking. It's called a joke. It's called comedy. But that woman, she pointed out like somebody else calling her like fat or something and being misogynistic to her. And she's like, see, you guys have no principles. It's like, you pointing out that other people are hypocritical doesn't magically make you not a hypocrite. You're just pointing it out because you don't want to deal with the fact that you have to address the elephant in the room, that it is standing in the room and it is asking you to address it. If I say, you can steal from steal a water bottle. Yeah, do it as a hypothetical. And then I go and steal a water bottle at a store. And then you say you should never steal from corporations. The most evil place to steal is from corporations. And then you steal a water bottle. You don't get to look at me and be like, well, you stole one too. It's like, but that's not first of all, it's not a hypocritical position for me because I already accepted the premise. You didn't. It's a hypocritical position for you. And even if it was hypocritical for me, it doesn't make it less hypocritical for you because you're not living your values. Someone else not living their values doesn't change the fact that you're not living yours. Hello? Like, it's so sad. And people fall for this shit because they just like, I don't know, don't fucking use their Bryans, I guess.
Snark. But all of a sudden, in the middle of one of his classic pointless hypocrisy hunts, Nick blurts out his actual stance on the topic, and to no one's surprise, it's just Ethan's side of things.
They're posting shit saying, you should watch this as an alternative to his actual content. These guys total hypocrites, dude. It's insane.
It is insane. I thought you were waiting on more information, Nick. The truth is, there never is more information that Nick is waiting on. Nick isn't waiting for anything. He's just working.
Nicholas Deorio, the Pope, is in chat. He says the Godzilla collab is sick.
Aw.
My Teddy Fresh order has shipped.
Oh my god, Saint Nicholas.
The most notable example of this is Nick's
Oh my god, Saint Nicholas. Oh my god. Oh, what happened? You've been in the world's first speech-induced coma. Yeah, the words that you heard from the person that you heard them from were so traumatizing for your brain, you actually fell into a decade-long coma. What were the last words? Well, I don't know if we should tell you. Because then what if, like, you know, it happened? No, just tell me. Kyle, no! What happened? You went into another decade-long coma. It's stupid.
To defend Ethan's lies about Denims chat during the CPS story.
Love made a good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were
No,
selected.
it's this, I think when you full screen it. No, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full
And then he plays the clip where Ethan explicitly tells you, okay, that they clipped the chat and it's like a fucking cutout of it.
Chat. It's just enlarged there.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah.
And like it's directly explained to you in the stream what exactly this is.
No, it's not. But it doesn't matter. Nick isn't watching
This is also the second or third offense of pretending like that was 100% of the chat. This is so bad, dude.
this clip to evaluate whether it's true or form an honest opinion. He's watching the clip to
This is fucked up. Dude, I'm telling you guys, chat roasts way harder than I could roast. The person who made that comment about Eli, you're so right. Have you guys, you know what? You're based is all I will say.
Find a way to push Ethan's bullshit, and his instinct is just to adopt whatever's being presented on screen without really analyzing or looking into it. I mean, the snark lawsuits and copyright strikes, these things are key components of Ethan Klein's narrative over the last couple of years. Why do you think Nick was waiting so long to cover them?
So Ethan Klein, so if he goes on like an anti-Semite doxing spree, I mean, that's gotta look so bad for everyone that promotes the fuck out of him. Nick Deorio, this is looking pretty bad, bro. What
How's
the fuck?
he gonna sweep this one up? How is Fatty gonna sweep for?
You gotta do something about this tonight, man.
I haven't covered two things with Ethan Klein, but I'll just give you kind of my rundown with them because I intend to cover them, but I'm trying to space this shit out because it was just so much back to back.
Right, yes, of course.
One being the lawsuit against the Snark subreddits. I do have a tweet about it. I feel like I'm gonna end up on the side of being opposed at this point from what I've seen so far. Principally opposed to what he's doing, but I think there are ways that he can win me. I need to see exactly what he's doing. I haven't watched his video about it. I intend to do it all at once. I think he says 2 weeks now until the lawsuit drops. So we will be taking a look at that.
Nick didn't say that because he was open to criticizing Ethan. He said it because his friend Augie reminded him that old commentary audiences were still watching, and Nick doesn't want those people to know that he was never actually the guy he pretends to be.
By the way, total, like, just as a palate cleanser, I want you guys to know, this cat, I have two cats that look exactly the same. They don't literally, but they're both gray. And I want you guys to know something very important. This cat is actually very particular. She likes to only sit in one particular way. She only likes to be pet usually in one particular way. She only likes to play the way that she likes to play. She's a very particular worm, all right? She's a very particular wormy. And I want all of you to know something very important, which is even with a cat this particular, you can actually just train cats to enjoy like random pets and like random things that you want them to enjoy. Once you show them that it's like a safe spot and they can leave whenever they want, they start understanding that it's like, oh, okay. So like you can see here. So once, and she's very particular, as you can see. With her and with cats in general, you can do the thing to them. Like let's say you want to pick them up upside down. Just pick them up upside down, and the second they want off, put them down. If you want to rub their belly or you want to rub their paws or something, do it for a little bit, and the second they don't want it anymore, let them go. Because then they know, like, you're training them to understand that the second that they're done, they don't have to deal with it anymore. The thing that's stressful is like, oh God, this person is doing something and I don't know when they're going to stop doing it. But if they know that like whatever is happening, if you're rubbing their belly or like giving them scratchies or like doing this, they know the second they want it to stop, it'll stop. They're like, oh, okay. Sure, you know what? You can have a belly rubber too. Sure, you know what? You want to lift me upside down? You can lift me upside down, but only for a little bit. Fine. I trained my cat to give high fives. Anything's possible. Yes. The hardest part is training them to let me set them down before they really start squirming. But yeah. So does it work with older shelter cats? Oh, yes, absolutely. 100%. I mean, this works with just like I'm pretty sure all pets. I guess I can only really speak on cats, but I'm pretty sure it works on like all cats. But can you change the mind, lolly, please? Sorry. I just wanted to say that because as you guys saw, she just weren't. But the second she was like, I want off, I let her off immediately. I was like, okay, go. I don't want you to stay for a second longer than you don't. The second you don't want to be here, I want you to leave immediately. All cats are beautiful, true. Okay, I've had enough about the Nicholas eat Oreo. Wait, I do want to hear this.
He's very slimy and intellectually dishonest, but he's not exactly lying. The lie is Nick doing all this stuff and then presenting himself as principled.
Do you have any actual principles at all? No, none of these people have any principles. It's not fun to be a principled streamer at this point.
His entire persona is the lie.
The hypocrisy hunting is going to be extremely difficult for me to navigate because publicly I said that if a reactor doesn't react to your content, you should strike them. I said I'm against YouTuber lawsuits for the most part, but I do find it increasingly difficult to care about a Twitch streamer getting sued. The things that we have been saying for the last 5 years, if they had just been listened to at all, and people made the slightest bit of effort, there'd be nothing here for Ethan to sue over.
This entire thing is an attempt to silence creators that he doesn't like and to silence people he doesn't like.
Yeah, that's the best.
I've never seen that clip. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I can't deal with a lot of these people for more than 10 seconds at a time. I've never seen that. Yeah, it's because we don't want you saying things that we don't want you saying. That's incredible.
Part of this is that he scared a bunch of Redditors into shitting themselves and shutting an entire subreddit down. Go type in on H3 Snark and go read what they wrote about Deorio and tell me how much I should feel bad for them that these little fucking rat fucks had to sit and cry and get scared for the night where they thought the big mean Ethan Klein lawsuit was going to be in the mail the next day.
Wow, this guy sucks. Nobody is asking you to feel bad for anybody. They're just asking if you think Ethan is doing something wrong. But this is exactly what Nick does. He actively runs away from having principles. And if he were just your average, unprincipled grifter, I mean, that would be bad enough, but the thing that really makes Nick so contemptible is that he's also just a total fucking loser. I mean, not only is he so sensitive that it's literally a meme to be blocked by Nicholas Deorio on Twitter.
He blocked me. I've never spoken to this man in my life. Nick Deorio.
Oh, he does that. He does that. Yeah,
I haven't, but I haven't talked to him.
And not only is he this gross, cackling, nasally weirdo.
Because that's,
you know, in a good, just world.
I haven't talked to him.
And not only is he
in a good, just world, he would be like, you know, serving you popcorn at a movie theater. You know, and getting paid and having benefits, and you know, you would be like a movie theater manager. And he would be able to retire at like 65 and with a house, maybe kids, and he would be damn good at the job. I would trust this man to make me delicious popcorn. I would trust him. He probably knows good food. But like, not this, man. He'd probably be even happier too. Yeah.
this gross.
He'd run the theater like the Navy, bro, for sure, man. You would get every popcorn, every kernel would get the same level of buttering on it. And it would be delicious, and it would be just, and it would be an incredible movie experience, you know?
Cackling nasally weirdo.
Because that's probably what he was until his girlfriend touched his penis. Remember, weight could be lost, hair could be growing back, but your body is ravaged forever. Listen, Cuts, you gotta smile more. You know, just give them a little bit more of a smile. That would go.
I like how you can immediately tell sometimes when people speak whether or not they have ever had a girlfriend. And whether or not they've ever had a girlfriend because of their own failings. And it's like, oh, you're not like a victim of like a lack of walkable cities. You're just a victim of yourself. You're just a victim of yourself. That's so sad.
Long way with the men watching.
But on top of all that stuff, he's also a total moron. Like, he admits he doesn't know anything about politics.
I'm not a political fucking streamer. I don't know anything about politics. I'm horrible at politics. I've been coasting.
So why the fuck would anyone ever listen to him talk about anti-Semitism?
So this is an event that was headlined by Bosch to platform Zog, and apparently they didn't tell Zog that, like, Progressive Victory sent out, like, America's newest lolicon. Do you not know what Zog is? I think that's literally the guy's name.
Nick is kind of like one of those background characters from old high school movies. He's like that unnamed idiot that follows around the main idiot.
I just thought of. No, he's kind of like, he's like one of the characters that would exist in The Sopranos that would do something really stupid and would be the butt of every joke. Or like in The Wire, what was his name? Ziggy or whatever? Like, that's the character where it's like, what I tell you about your kid. What I tell you. You're making a big mess for us. Get the fuck out of the room. Oh my God. Like, that's the character. That's the character. I'm sorry, Mr. Tony. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean...
And like forces out laughs at their jokes.
Oh, McFly, your shoes are tied. Don't be so gullible, McFly. I don't want to see you in here again.
Like, this is really all who Nick is. He's literally this guy. Yet somehow, this very stupid, wheezing, uncharismatic, dishonest blob of a guy made more money in donations last year than fucking Candace Owens.
That's incredible. That's amazing.
That by at some point realizing that you can turn Ethan Good, Hasan Bad into a full-time job. But the Nicky...
And admittedly, he's probably one of the very few slop tubers that isn't paying any child support with that money. It all goes straight into the Oreo fund.
D system still isn't complete. Not yet. Nick looks around. He sees Willie Mac's channel stagnating. He sees Takedown get a protective order granted against him. He sees Taku get exposed for enabling grooming. He's looking down at which side of the aisle he's standing on. and he's panicking, so he starts worrying that he's possibly hitched his very large wagon to the wrong horse face. Nick's words, by the way, not mine. And he starts laying
No, 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 no. Joe Rogan should give Hila back her meds, says Nicholas Deorio, September 21st. Or sorry, September 4th, 2021. I hallucinated that, right? Nope, I didn't. Still here. Okay.
By the way, not mine. And he
Got
starts laying the foundation for the final step in his system. The step that ties the whole
Stop saying throwing it back.
thing together, and the one that will allow him to repeat the whole process again. Distance. He sees the writing on the wall, and in classic Nick fashion, he starts planning his exit.
I hate this. I hate Hasan Piker, and I hate these people more. I hate these people so much. They're like actually fucking insane. Dude, people will...
By these people, Nick is likely referring to Takedown, Nux, Taku, and Think Before You Sleep, who defended Takedown. It really doesn't surprise me at all that the Think Before You Sleep guy would defend Takedown.
Guys, what you need to understand about Takedown is...
Put me next to these people, because I also criticize Hasan Piker. There is too much of this going on in the hating Hasan Piker community. It's fucking insane!
Nick can feel the ship sinking, and he's trying to make sure he has a clean way out before he goes down with it.
Yeah, this is why nobody can get held accountable, because Hasan Piker is bad.
Yeah, that is why no one gets held accountable, Nick. That's what my video is about. I'm glad we agree on at least one thing, but you don't get to be the one that points it out.
I'm
The
sorry
Think
to get...
Before You Sleep video on Takedown's allegations is awful. Just out of curiosity, really quickly. Dude, how did, like... I do think you need some form of rehabilitation if you watch content that looks like this. Scammer, tourist, addict, beep. This one just says terrible, traitor, gooner, haram, terrorist, straight. I like this one. Guilty, not guilty. Bro said not guilty. Meanwhile, the judge literally found that it was reasonable that Takedown sexually assaulted and stalked his ex-girlfriend.
Takedown went to court today, and he lost the
Sorry, I just need to show you guys one thing.
case against Pink Chew. Takedown, with his 5 lawyers, lost. She had 1, and she won. That's how bad it was. For the next 10 years, Takedown can't own guns and has to pay all of her attorney fees, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Thanks, Mizkif. We can always trust you to report things accurately. In case you haven't heard, Twitch streamer Takedown and an ex-girlfriend of his who goes by Pink Chew have been in a legal battle after Pink Chew publicly accused Takedown of sexually assaulting her. Recently, Pink Chew filed for a protective order, which is to prevent stalking and harassment.
Thank you, Miss Giff. Takedown recently filed a statement here, and you can see he definitely is gonna win. Ignore the fact that he lost, and if you see he actually won because the judge was an activist judge.
Dude, shut the fuck up and go fucking get shoved in a closet, man. Or sorry, well, that too. Sure, why not? In a locker.
Blackpilled a little bit. I get why people hate EHD stuff. It is.
Why is your criticism only surface level? You can only make fun of someone in a surface level way. No, the problem is that even when you engage in good faith against that guy, he's a complete sack of shit, completely lacks morals. Noah Samson has like 3 or 4 videos where he debunks everything that he talks about, and the guy just like lies. I'm sorry, you make slop content. I'm gonna respond with slop. I give what I get, all right? You send slop my way, you get slop your way.
Given so many people a voice who are just like subhuman wretches. I am awake and I can see these people. I hate them too.
Oh my god, who does this guy think he's fooling? These people, as if he's not one of them. You are like them, Nick. Not because you're a rapist or a pedophile or anything like that, but because you're a liar. And you have massively profited off of doing the exact same thing that they are.
This is the dumbest hill for Ethan to die on? Snark clip chimping bullshit? I'm sorry, who let in the Hasan Piker fan? He got hit on the Zionist policy, and I don't know how I feel about this. On one hand, I find it hilarious. On the other hand, I find it hilarious. It's Zionist, but with Zionist, it has 3 parentheses around either side. Everyone just fucking hates Jews now, it's insane. Oh no, they blacklisted the guy who supports terrorists. That's horrible. It's almost like Twitch has finally done something.
Everything is anti-Semitism.
on their platform to moderate this abhorrent behavior. Like the levels of psychological warfare that we've reached for quote-unquote not liking Hasan Piker. Yeah, dude, we gotta take his kids away. A bunch of people use veiled anti-Semitism to attack Jews, specifically people he's friends with, and in some cases I would argue him. I don't agree with going after sponsors, but I kind of am. Her sponsor is Hasan Piker. Okay, so by going after Hasan Piker, I'm specifically targeting her income. Hasan Piker supports terrorists. I don't really understand what is the deceptive edit here. It's like maybe you shouldn't make yourself an extremely easy target while you're attacking this person's family. This is not even the first congressman that Hasan has jokingly told his audience.
Oh my god, put me out of my suffering. I hate seeing this stupid fucking avatar wiggle.
Kill.
And now when he starts feeling public perception shifting ever so slightly away from him, he does what he's always done, and he starts trying to quietly pitter-patter away.
What is this video?
Okay, maybe
Stop!
not so
He's such a fucking hog. Fucking cop phrenology.
quietly. This is what he did with Bo Blacks. He did it with
my
Destiny to an
God.
extent. He'll coast off of popular sentiment for as long as he can, and only when things get too hot will he then turn his back and pretend like he was principled the whole time.
And when people say that you're sweeping or you're doing this, I've literally taken about 7 of my friends and former associates out back and put a bullet in the back of their head. So I really don't care.
Bro thinks he's him.
I've literally executed half this fucking space, so.
And one day Nick will do this to Ethan too. The public pressure will get to be too much, he'll find a new audience to leech from, and he'll drop H3 and pretend he had a good reason for it. And when that happens, Ethan will realize that he was actually right about Nick several years ago.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
You argue with people on the internet and you get charged up, and you gotta realize that you're probably talking to someone that looks like this. And what I mean by that is a pimply-faced kid who, you know, he's a know-nothing. Like, if I met this kid in real life, I would literally you wouldn't think twice about it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But until then, Nick is gonna do what he always does. He'll take his earnings, and then he'll try to scurry away from the consequences of what he had to do to get them. Kinda like a rodent. A very, very large rodent.
Wesley, what about the ROUSs?
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
Nicholas Deorio gets the Rodent of Unusual Size Award.
Dude, you can't say that. That's defamation. I just really like that one video where he's streaming on his birthday alone, eating the saddest slice of cake by himself, and he's just like, it's my birthday. Oh, okay.
Ethan, do you not correspond with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan Saltman?
I've talked to Dan Saltman, but also I don't think that that's Destiny, is it?
Like, dude, I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up right now. All right, let's finish this segment. I'm keeping Dan Saltman waiting because Dan's coming on soon.
Which, by the way, I guess I should just go ahead and say it. Me and Dan Saltman are going to have a YouTube exclusive stream pretty soon.
I have actually been, like, getting calls and invited to, like, tons of streams of all sorts of streamers. I just did one with Takedown and Dan Saltman the other day.
This post was going mega viral on their subreddit. It says Dan Saltman's minions, Ethan's bestie. I love how they so desperate to connect the dots on shit. It's so stupid. Are mass reporting Hasan to the FBI for the crime.
At the gooey, sticky center of this large-scale misinformation campaign against Hasan is a weird middle-aged dude by the name of Dan Saltman. I don't really want to give equal time to this guy, but to his credit, it's hard to ignore the impact he's had on people.
Name Dan Saltman. Sorry, let me pull this. Alias none, age old, followers nobody, platform who cares. Remember when he was like, you need to unban Destiny from Twitch now. You need to unban Destiny from Twitch now. And then Twitch was like, you know what? We're actually going to ban your account too. He's like, no, this is anti-Semitism. Unban me now. And then they didn't unban him. Dumbass. Let me edit Dan Clancy as a fucking Nazi in an SS uniform. Surely nothing bad will happen to me. Let me just insult the guy who is the CEO of the platform, do an incessant campaign calling the platform anti-Semitic, lose it a bunch of advertisers and sponsors, and surely I will be completely fine. Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
He's had on people's attitudes towards Hasan. You see, Dan is the kind of guy who gets off on feeling more important than he actually is. He's always talking about how much money he has or how many important people he talks to.
I have House of Representative members that I have meetings with.
And he really likes the idea of being remembered for something bigger than just being Destiny's best friend. To that end, he's decided to spend the last couple of years pouring resources into desperately trying to bring down Hasan. He kicked things off with his campaign against Dan Clancy and Twitch regarding anti-Semitism, which he opened up by massively overstating what was actually just a very stupid oversight on Twitch's part. The claim was essentially that Twitch had been banning Israeli users from making new accounts. But aside from the fact that Dan potentially lied in the way that he presented this initial complaint, Twitch's totally understandable explanation didn't stop him and Ethan Klein from helping launch a full-scale PR attack on Twitch and its sponsors, citing things like chat messages during—
Which, by the way, they were also banning people from Palestine from creating accounts. It was the entire region. They just casually ignored that.
Hasan streams as evidence of Twitch harboring anti-Semitism. Another notable example they used was this panel during TwitchCon 2024, where a group of Arabic streamers ranked other creators according to their level of affinity for Arab culture or something. Now, it would be totally fair to criticize the people who hosted this panel for it being stupid and not funny, but Dan and Ethan Klein managed to convince a bunch of people that this tier list was actually racist.
Hey, I've always said, consistently, make fun of me for being cringe. By all means. You can make fun of me for being cringe. You can make fun of me for not being entertaining or funny enough or whatever. That's fine. I'm always down for that. Go for it. By all means. As far as I'm concerned, you can have any reason for disliking someone. Or like, you can have the dumbest reasons for not watching a stream. Like 99% of the reason why I will never be a Burnt Peanut fan is because in my first like 5 games of playing Arc Raiders, I got killed by these fucking losers and they were like, the Bugaloo, we are the Bugaloo. And I was like, Google, I hate your streamer now. I hate your streamer. You have now made me a dedicated hater for life of your streamer. Get owned. Oh, Heidi. Like, I don't need a good, you literally don't need a good reason for disliking any streamer or not wanting to watch any streamer. That's fine. I also don't like Mr. Beast because his smile makes me scared. It's not human. Same reason people didn't like Mark Zuckerberg. He doesn't look human. He looks like a robot, man. He looks like a robot. If you want to be like, dude, I don't like Hasan because he says he doesn't listen to music, man. That's very valid. That's totally valid. Honestly, I'll even take, I don't want to watch Denims. She's a woman. It's like, you know what? At least you're being honest. It's valid. I am a woman. You're right. You caught me. True. It's true. The American people are tired of women. I understand. I get it, man. That's fine. That's valid. It's the like nonsense of like, actually this panel was very anti-Semitic and they were clearly rating people based on an Arab to Jew tier list. See, the definition of Sabra, no one would ever guess. They were actually trying to dog whistle a statement that literally no one has ever heard before in their life. And if you ask the average American person what does Sabra mean, they definitely wouldn't tell you that really shitty hummus that's at the grocery store. They would tell you it actually is a transliteration for a Hebrew word that means Jew from Israel. So obviously this was clearly a tier list about Arab to Jew. It's like, what the fuck? First of all, what the fuck are you talking about? You sound like a crazy person. Second, why did we put a bunch of Arab people in the bottom category then? In the alleged why am I in the alleged Jewish category? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. Doesn't even make any sense. Oh, Jesus.
Against Jews.
I mean, it's kind of just Arab good, Jew bad. I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing this any other way.
While trying to excuse her racist, disgusting, fucking anti-Semitic behavior on stage of putting Jews on the bottom and Arabs on the top of their tier list.
And this narrative somehow got sold pretty well, despite the top tiers consisting of mainly non-Arabs and the bottom tiers consisting of mainly non-Jews. In fact, as far as I could tell, Ethan is the only Jewish person at the bottom of this list. This panel was made for the—
Also, by the way, on the bottom list, I'm there. Okay? A self-proclaimed Muslim is there, Sneeko. Mike is on that bottom list too because it was always a fucking joke. We put Pokimane in the ask for permission tier, and she's Arab. Like, what are we... Like, I can't believe anyone fell for this.
In fact, as far as I could tell, Ethan is the only Jewish person at the bottom of this list. This panel was made for the Arabs podcast, which is about Arab identity and culture, and features a Jewish host. Ethan and Dan tried making the argument that because Sabra is an Israeli brand, that this panel was ranking people from Arab to Jew, and was therefore racist.
This is why you got 30 days? Yes. Correct.
But Sabra is also just the most basic mass-market hummus you can buy anywhere. Hummus is a core Arab dish. To Arabs who take pride in their culture, Love Sabra just represents cultural disconnection, not Israel or Jewishness. The panel wasn't even saying it's better to be Arab or anything.
I mean, it's like the equivalent of saying, like, what's a Spanish term of endearment? Someone who speaks Spanish quickly. Amigo. Who has the Amigo pass? And on the bottom is loves, like, Del Taco. That's it. That's the only, like, that is literally a 1-to-1. That's it. Because it's just a joke.
Was this idea for a panel maybe controversial? No, not really. I have a hard time getting on board with being genuinely upset about this, but the nonsensical outrage about it worked, particularly for...
They have to twist themselves into absurd knots to even attempt to accuse this as being anti-Semitism.
Liars.
Twitch.tv allowed them to do an Arab to Jew tier list. Twitch needs to take responsibility that they had a fucking racial tier list. The tier list goes from Arab to Jew, and they use like hummus as a stand-in for Jew.
The noise that Ethan and Dan generated about this panel led to the ADL stepping in and pressuring Twitch to take action, and Frogan and a few others that participated got 30-day bans as a result, which was kind of ridiculous. But this is essentially what most of Dan and Ethan's war against Twitch consisted of. Misunderstandings, bad examples, or even outright lies, like using a completely fake, doctored screenshot of an anti-Semitic meme on Twitch's front page. Or if you go to Dan's website and you take a look at the examples of anti-Semitic chat messages from Hasan's community, it's actually laughable. In fact, I challenge anyone watching this video to go comb through Dan's website and try to find me one genuinely racist comment.
That's amazing. One of those said black people were killed in the Holocaust too, you fucking idiot. What's anti-Semitic about that? If someone could clarify for me why that statement is anti-Semitic, I would love to know. Is that not just a correct statement? Maybe I'm not. Maybe my history buff. I'm not a history buff, and I might have mistaken a lot of what the Nazis stood for. They must have been like, yeah, the Aryan race, and also black people are okay too. They must have written that, and I must have just missed that part. I must have missed that part in the Holocaust where they were like, no, black people are cool though. They're fine. They must have, yeah, that part of the everybody knows about that part of the Holocaust. Yeah. It's anti-Semitic because keyword search Holocaust. It's amazing. I'm pretty sure a bot just grabbed every mention of like Jew, Israel, IDF, Holocaust. Yeah, during the tier list all over LSF, they would compare it to a tier list where Aryan is on the top and N-word is on the bottom. It's like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like, are you... All right. The equivalent would be like, how much of a white boy, of a quirked up white boy are you? And like on the top, it'd be like certified white boy. And on the bottom, it'd be like, hates when my potato salad has raisins in it. Sorry. You can't be a quirked up white boy if you don't like raisins in your potato salad, man. Sorry. It's tough.
Legitimately couldn't do it. I'm sure you could probably find real examples of creators or chatters being anti-Semitic on Twitch, just like many other forms of hate. But if this were a real, actual systemic issue at Twitch, why would these guys need to lie about it? But with the help of the ADL, their campaign actually worked, and Twitch experienced a notable decline in overall ad revenue, which did adversely impact some streamers who don't even have anything to do with politics. And despite how fake this whole anti-Semitism thing was, Dan even went so far as making threatening comments towards the families of Dan Clancy and other Twitch employees.
They don't sleep good at night knowing that I'm downloading every Facebook comment that you've made, Dan. And I've basically downloaded every comment you made everywhere. All of your travel journeys, the stuff with your kids, literally everything. Downloading it all and use it all against them.
The quote from you was something like, you have to go after the people they care about.
So I have a list of all the employees in trust and safety, and half of them hide. No profiles, no nothing. I hope I don't have to go to this direction. Sometimes there are people and you can't get to them, no matter what level of insane targeting you do to them. No matter how autistic you are with the websites that you set up and everything else, they just don't care. Then you have to start going to the people that they care about. and then they start caring.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit unhinged to go against a $50 billion company as one person. Sending a nicely worded email to a support ticket is not going to usually have the effect you need.
Those vaguely threatening comments, the multiple websites, collating people's personal information, that stuff all led to his account being banned from Twitch for harassment, obviously, which he then tried to spin into Twitch wanting to silence him. Okay, man. But with him failing to cause Dan Clancy to lose his job, and losing multiple bets in the process, Dan Saltman dropped the act and turned his focus to what this was really all about, which was Hasan Piker. Dan is so maniacally obsessed with Hasan that he winds up becoming involved in almost every single front in the war against him. If you're a somewhat notable online figure who publicly voices criticism towards Hasan, even if you're an unintelligent slop tuber or somebody he's completely politically opposed to, you will hear from Dan Saltman wanting to be best friends. He's done shows or had plans for them with all—
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, Dan Saltman was really the best nickname. Whichever chat, because let's all be real, Hasan just be stealing names. He'd be stealing all the catchy things from chat. Whoever coined that original term, whoever wrote that first, you fucking cooked, man.
Almost all of the creators in this video, which often may fall through because Dan's dishonesty is so blatant that even notorious liars like Nicholas Deorio can't come up with ways to defend it.
That is what everyone does all the time, nonstop. It will never end, ever.
It's not a good
argument.
argument.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a good argument. That's what everyone does.
But you're just throwing shit at the wall. What makes you better than him? What makes you better than Hasan Piker?
I'm glad you asked, because my side is honorable, and it was obviously taken out of context. Their side meant it, and they still haven't changed.
Oh, so it's just sides cock. This is the issue.
Completely, 100%.
That's the big issue, though. That's why unironically, that's why we can't do a show.
Dan is actually impressively the most prolific
Sides cocked? Side cucked? What did he say?
liar in this whole video, not just because of how often he lies, but also because he just openly admits that he lies.
This is the game. Like, you can't change it. As much as you may want to change it, I might want this to be, we have an objective debate and we look at it and, everyone comes away and it's like, okay.
It sounds like Ethan. No, it's missing all the coughing and the sneezing and the sniffling. And also some of the insane mannerisms, like the marbles are gone, people. It's not emphatic enough.
Okay, well, that would be the world I want to go to, but that's not the world that we're in. We're in a world of all that matters is
not enough poop jokes.
The end result of the general public having an optics on something. I said that Hasan Piker visited a brothel that was later raided for suspected sex trafficking. Actually, Hasan—
This is, by the way, like the best evidence of why you should never listen to any campaign that is started up by Dan Saltman. It's all literally all of it is astroturf garbage. Every single bit of it is just lying. It's just, I don't care if I'm lying. I just want to destroy the people that I don't like. And it's to what end? What? Can I be honest with you guys? I had an experience the other day. This is maturing straight up. It's a really long story, so I'll try and shorten it for stream to the best of my ability. But sort of recently, I had to sort of let go of friendship that I wanted, but I can't have that friendship for reasons I will not get into. And a big part of it is beyond my control. And I was like, if I could get to the bottom of this, and they play Tarkov. No, although friendships have ended over Tarkov. Get out of my fucking way! Get out of my— Why did you fucking kill me? You said you were in the left room. You were in the right room, so I thought there was someone. I'm leaving the server. Beep, beep. No, but I had to let go of a certain friendship recently because, to be quite honest with you, I don't mean to be too reductive, but these people kind of suck. This friend group. I'm lucky enough that I have lots of friends that make me happy, and I have lots of different sects and groups of friends. I have gaming friends, and I have offline friends, and I have streamer friends, and I have I have enough. I have enough in my life. My life is full. My friendships are full. But different, no, SECTS. But moving on, I was like, dude, if I could just get to the bottom of this nonsense, if I could get to the bottom of this, wherever this sects ever. That's amazing. You were like, finally, it's my time. Yes. Okay, sorry. Anyways, yeah, I sort of started to think that if I could just clear up some of this misinfo, it would all be worth the effort, right? And then I realized, fucking stupid. I'm going to dedicate all of this effort into like this person that I want to be friends with, but doesn't care enough. Why am I like doing this? Like I should just, I have my life is full. I don't need to go through all this effort just to be disappointed at the end, right? Like it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. Because I realized at the end of this journey that I would potentially go on, there wouldn't be anything there for me. It would just be a bunch of wasted energy. And I did let go. I was like, okay. That's okay. We let go now. And we move on. This is my sign. This is your sign. Unless you're in your spiteful era, in which case this is not your sign. And I'm not talking about you. I left my friend group recently. You have no clue how much I needed to hear this. Yeah, and it's like, dude, I like I said, there are always people in your life, I feel like, that will put time and effort and soul and heart into your friendship. So why care about those who won't? You know? Why sit there and try and like correct these things and be like, no, I gotta do the no and this and no. And it's like, no, dude, it's okay. Because I realized at the end of that path, there was nothing. There was nothing. And that's okay. Was it a normie friend group? The shortest version of it is, I don't know if anyone else has been in this experience, but like, if you've ever been in a friend group where people have sided with a different friend, even though you are not in the wrong at all, and you just have to realize those people like that person more, and that's okay. And it's okay to let go. And it's okay to be like, why am I going to sit here on this, like go on this uphill battle or like start this uphill battle, like try and remedy this? No, I don't. I really do have better things to do. And it's honestly, once I started thinking about it, I was like, it's kind of disrespectful to all the people who do put a lot of effort and a lot of heart into my friendship. It's disrespectful to them for me to care so much about this other like group of people. Who cares? And I just like, oh, I was like, I felt so free. I was like, wow. I have seen so many of those in my adult life. It sucks to be suddenly put in the hey, pick a side over fucking nothing you did. Yeah, it's just, you X the entire group. I mean, like, it was only a group of like 3 people. So I'm like, I'm good. Is this financial advice? This is financial advice. So did you tell them or are you just slowly stepping away? I don't need to tell them. We don't hang out enough for me to need to tell them. You're practicing a skill called radical acceptance. Exactly. Do we know these friends? No. That is to say, I don't get like the Dan hate boner for Hasan. It's like, what are you getting at it? Like, there's nothing, like, even if you deplatformed Hasan, you did it. And then Hasan, he's working at McDonald's and he's bald, just like in the Asmongold thumbnails. Now what? What? It didn't make your life better. It didn't do anything for you. Like, okay, congrats. Congrats, man. They don't think it through. It's just feeling and emotion. Yeah, I just don't. It's so bizarro. It's so bizarros. I don't know why people don't talk about how Dan literally said he made up Collargate because he was mad. People kept saying Ethan killed his dog with cheese. By the way, the cheddar thing, that is like peak Ethan Klein. Overshare a story about how you didn't know feeding your dog cheese every day would kill him and give him liver issues. And then later, blame everyone else for spreading misinfo because they shared a clip of you talking about how you didn't know feeding a dog cheese every day would be bad for their liver. You're the only person I watch besides Hasan on Twitch. Probably other people are similar. If they got rid of them, I think you would be one of the only people to carry the flame. Thanks, man. Wait, I thought it was Shredder who got murdered with cheddar. Did I say cheddar? Whatever, same thing.
Wasn't there? Yeah, that matters. Yeah, that matters. And misleading. That matters. Yes, you are misleading. Yes, Dan. Yes, Dan.
That is the game, 100%. Do you not think that that's what people do on Twitter all day, every day?
Yeah, but you're the guy on Twitter.
That's the game.
But I'm not playing the game. I'm trying to get the truth. I'm sorry. Like I'm not here to play your game.
It's not my game. That is the game. I think that you might be having a very commentary.
Actually, I watch Hasan because of Denims. Dude, fire puff a real one. Oh, yes. The Hasan to Denims pipeline? The Denims to Hasan pipeline.
Brain to take care versus what
the
general
commentary
public...
take is to not lie.
It's pretty bad when this guy is calling you out for being a hack. Dan is a huge fan of clipping Hasan dishonestly, or outright lying about things Hasan says, and then spreading these lies on Twitter to generate public backlash. You may have even come across certain Hasan clips circulating around that are commonly used to attack him, but they're actually deceptive edits, often originating from Dan Saltman. This clip shows up on my Twitter feed pretty often.
Democrats, if they were in charge right now, would be doing 100% the exact same thing, 1-to-1. Make no fucking mistake. Anyone who tries to tell you that Kamala Harris will be different is a fucking delusional moron. Do not listen to them.
People like Dan use this clip whenever the Trump administration does something disagreeable as a way of attacking Hasan's credibility. But the clip's been trimmed of any surrounding context, and it's also cropped and zoomed in so that you can't see Hasan is covering one specific current event and talking about one particular issue, which is Israel.
Anyone who tries to tell you that Kamala Harris will be different is a fucking delusional moron. Do not listen to them. Why? Kamala Harris's own campaign aides have actually come out and talked about how they would be doing a better job defending Israel right now. Chuck Schumer has come out and launched his support. Chuck Schumer, a week ago, was complaining that Donald Trump was Taco Trump. He wasn't going to actually fucking strike Iran.
Yeah, we get it. So you can still think Hasan is wrong about that take, but there's just absolutely no way that if you've seen that original context, that you can in good faith reply to tweets like this with that 18-second cropped edit. This is just a blatant lie, and it seems like Dan is its originator. There are probably dozens more examples of him doing this, but I don't really need to show any more, because again, Dan just openly tells us that this is what he's doing.
See, this is what you guys don't get. You don't play the game. You don't play it strong enough. He has no issues clip chipping me, okay? He's fine doing it. Why the fuck would I not do it in return?
So yeah, Dan's kind of insane track record might cause some issues for some of his potential partnerships. But a little bit unsurprisingly, the one person who can tolerate maintaining a steady business relationship with Dan Saltman is Ethan Klein. Yeah, Dan's company Redact for a long time was the lone sole sponsor for the H3 podcast.
Code H3 for 15% off. Redact.dev, baby.
So it just
it's a dream partnership.
It just makes sense.
They're part of the team now, part of the gang, so.
And to be honest, I kind of get the feeling that their partnership is a little closer than either of them like to let on. They both sort of downplay the extent of their relationship, like we
the extent of their relationship.
saw earlier.
Do you not correspond with Destiny's podcast co-host Dan Saltman?
I've talked to Dan Saltman, but
as Ethan Klein said, I've talked to him every once in a while.
it says Dan Saltman's minions, Ethan's bestie. I love how they so desperate to connect the dots on shit. It's so stupid.
Is it stupid, Ethan? I kept hearing them say stuff like that, and
Also, the worst thing about Redact, it doesn't even work. It just says this comment was deleted by Redact, but it doesn't even delete the Reddit comments.
always sounds so defensive to me, which made me curious. Consider this. H3H3 Productions is a 15-year-old YouTube channel, first created in 2011. And despite Ethan's lengthy history of copyright disputes and preaching about protecting IP, the Content Nuke is the first time he's ever registered one of his works with the US Library of Congress, which makes it seem like he had just recently learned that that was something you could do. And that left me wondering, where did he get the idea from?
But basically, yeah, so I got banned by Twitch for extreme harassment, permanent. I put in a request to cancel my partnership agreement.
Rip Bozo.
Which is a right that is afforded to
I
me.
can't believe I photoshopped Dan Clancy in an SS uniform, called him a pedophile, called him a Nazi, said he's running a Nazi platform and he loves terrorism, ran an entire ad campaign to destroy him and his website, and then he banned me. Now, this is some Dan on Dan violence I can get behind. Admittedly, I don't know a lot of Dan. I actually have never met a Dan ever until I started streaming on Twitch, and suddenly they're all over the place. Dans are just popular. And now, I gotta say, Dan on Dan violence I can get behind. I can really get behind it.
In the contract that I have with Twitch. And then after that, I put in a request for them to delete all information about my account. Some of that stuff I have registered with the Library of Congress. If they don't, I will go and I will initiate a copyright lawsuit that has statutory damages applied to it. That's basically a thing. If you register specific works directly with the Library of Congress, you can get statutory damages.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. It's gonna sound a little insane. I do think that you have to recognize the weight class you're in, and you got to play accordingly. Otherwise, I think you end up coming off cringe, right? Or you have to reestablish yourself and reinvent yourself so that you may fight in a maybe like a heavyweight tournament. Best example of reestablishing yourself, that one guy who was in like, I think he's Indian American, and he like got really jacked and his jaw just like magically got like really wide. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Who I'm talking about? Oh my goodness, you guys are the best. Kumail Nanjiani, or is it Nanjiani? I apologize if I'm butchering that. I'm terrible with actor names, all right? But this guy really like, what happened? I genuinely, this is crazy and like needs to be researched. How did his jaw get so wide is my question. This is the thing that I think is really like, this guy. But ignoring all of this, he reinvented himself. Marvel paid him enough money. Drugs. Well, no, but you think the drugs made his jaw wide? Maybe drugs can do that. I don't know enough about drugs, so the only drugs I know are the ones that like get you high and you're like, I'm high. I don't know enough about the other ones, but yeah, his jaw is like different. But moving on, not relevant. Don't care. I don't know anything about him. I think he looks fine. I don't know. I think he looked fine before. I think he looks fine now. I don't feel strongly. Why did I break? Yeah, this guy reinvented himself. He reinvented himself. He was like, I want to fight in a different weight class. I'm done. I'm done with this. No more silly propeller hat and lollipop. It's time to go to, what is it in the salty spittoon? And I feel this way about myself. Listen, I'm just like I'm a jester, okay? I'm an internet jester, and I'm satisfied with being an internet jester. I'm here to talk about things that I care about. But most of the time, I'm here to make fun of things and have some fun. I want to go to Weenie Hut Jr. and I want to be like, I want a Jester Max. I want a Jester Max at Weenie Hut Jr. And every once in a while, you know, maybe we get out of Weenie Hut Jr., but only for a moment. I feel like Dan Saltman doesn't understand this concept. He's constantly trying to like fight in a weight class that he doesn't belong to. And it's like, Grandpa, like, are you lost? Like, you should just, it's the same thing with Ethan Klein. It's like, you're supposed to be just like a silly guy that makes fun of himself. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? The fool is the greatest archetype. And this is why, like, the people that, like, so many of the people that insult me, they don't understand the correct way to insult me at all. And that's why the insults, like, I think if you could measure how much positivity I've experienced from internet hate versus how much negativity I've experienced from internet hate, I think it would look like this. If I was to make a little fun little pie chart. So, like, if you compiled every single hate comment I have ever received in my life on the internet. This is every single hate comment. Sorry, this kind of doesn't look like hard to draw this straight line. This would be the time spent being sad, and this would be the time spent having fun. Because I would say, genuinely, oh, sorry, the emotes are in the way. When I read hate comments, some hate comments are just so funny. They're just so funny. I have received more joy from hate comments than sadness. And it's not close. It's not like it's like a 50-50. It's not like I read one good one and then I read like a bad one or whatever. It's like the vast majority of negative comments make me laugh. And then like one in like a million will be like, oh, that kind of whatever. It's just it doesn't matter. It's fine. And the vast majority of them are like, I read it. It's like, this is the only thing you're good for, your body. And it's like, no, are you serious? Really? Do you mean that? Or are you just saying that? Are you just saying that? Just to make me blush. Like, come on. Really? My body looks... Oh, thanks. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm... Don't say that to me. Or sometimes it'll be like the most like deranged musings. It'll be like, you don't even know what you're talking about. This is the problem. Every terrorist lover, anti-Semitic, OnlyFan whore, you're going to prison. It's like, dude, you're fucking gone. And then you check their profile picture, and you go to their Twitter profile, and I'm not joking. The number of times I've seen this where it's like, it'll be like a tweet, like 4 tweets down. It'll be like, we all need to learn how to disagree with each other and be okay with that. And it's like, This has got to be some big game on me. This has got to be a satire. Is the Onion running this account? You got me. You can take out the cameras now. You can take them out. Come on. Oh my God, dude. Anyways, all of that's to say, I had a point that I was making with all of that. I don't remember, but it probably wasn't that important. I did want to say, I do feel for the people who send hate comments because, man, the vast majority of hate comments are so fucking funny. They're so fun. They're so funny, dude. I almost feel bad laughing knowing that this poor person is sitting here trying to type something to make me mad, and they're like, why is she getting away with it? I still laugh at the time that you roasted someone so hard they changed their profile picture. Yeah. That was top 10. That was top 10. That was amazing. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was amazing. I forgot about that. Oh my God. I don't remember what stream that was. Oh, fuck, dude. That was so good. I don't remember. Please say there's a clip. Mods might have the clip or something. I was there. That was hilarious. That was so fun. I don't even remember what I said to him. I think the most fun, by the way, the most fun way to insult the way someone looks is to say, and you look like this and you're saying this? Because you're not targeting any particular attribute. You're just targeting the fact that they're insecure about how they look. And that shit's funny as fuck. All I'm doing is holding up a mirror and saying, you look like this. And they're like, fuck. You're right, I do look like that. Oh, God. All right.
It's not like a typical DMCA thing where you have to prove damages and things along those lines. So I've gone and I've registered a few things that I know that are stored on Twitch's servers, and I'll move forward with that if they don't delete all of my data. So there's that. What else was I going to talk about?
To go riding in a one-horse sleigh.
All right.
Jingle bell,
Thank you,
jingle
everybody.
bell, jingle bell rock.
Oh, I have a special
Jingle
project over the
bell
break, so don't miss that. And wow, we'll be back in January.
Also, I have been teasing a work on a video I've been working on, or a special project, let's say. I have spent every waking moment on this project. Hope you guys enjoy that when it comes out eventually. I think within 2 weeks for sure. Within 2 weeks. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now. I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hasan Piker Content Nuke with...
I see. Dude, it's like pathetic. The saddest part about all of it is Ethan pretending like, I just act completely on my own, and I'm definitely not impacted by the things that Hila says, and I'm definitely not impacted by my friendship with Dan Clancy, and I don't even know who Des Tiny is. I don't even know who that is. And then post an entire Instagram story being like, dude, I used to look up to you. Like, I've been watching you for a decade. I've been watching you for as long as I can remember. I literally would not have been doing content with that. It's like, didn't you just spend the past 3 months saying you've never heard of this guy?
the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating?
And then Dan posts this Discord message right after Ethan's video announcing the lawsuits was posted.
Sorry, I said Dan Clancy, I meant Saltman. I apologize.
And look, none of this is proof of anything. But why does this matter? Well, because if what I'm suggesting is true, and Dan and Ethan have been in somewhat close communication since November of 2024, it would actually create quite a few problems for Ethan. Number 1. It supports the idea that Ethan was originally trying to target Hasan with his copyright plan. This is something that Ethan denies, but if he had come up with the plan with the help of Hasan's #1 hater, who do you think it was originally intended for? And if people knew that was the original plan, it kind of makes Ethan look bad. Not only would it build a stronger perception that he's abusing copyright law because he switched his target after the original plan failed, but also, his original plan failed. Ethan had been begging Hasan to watch his video, but a month had passed, and he was still unable to get him to do so. So then look at what Ethan registered last February. I'll never forgive Hasan Piker for this. To me, it just seems obvious that Hasan was the intended target of the copyright plan. And obviously, Ethan wouldn't want everyone to know that that's what he...
The funniest part about this, by the way, is that, like, Chatter, you're totally right. Makes him look bad, buddy. That ship has sailed a long time ago. Do you guys... Okay. Man, it's if Ethan Klein wasn't such like a horrible person, such a piece of shit, like especially the shit that he did to Casey Tron, I lost my ability. I'll remember for a brief moment. Oh yeah, I can experience empathy, and then I remember that who he is, and I'm like, oh, actually, you're like a horrible person, and I should ignore that feeling of wanting to feel bad for you because you don't feel bad for anyone around you ever. Except for your close friends and family, and that's it. What was I going to say about that? Hold up, wait. No, there was a point. Fuck.
He was trying to do, target of the copyright plan. And obviously Ethan wouldn't want everyone to know that that's what he was
that he's such a loser, right. Do you guys remember the part where, you remember this, the Ethan Klein arc where he was like, there are so many negative comments about me on TikTok. We're gonna rewrite this narrative. I'm sitting up for this one. I'm shitting up for this one. All right. I'm shitting the studio up for this one. We're gonna start making some TikToks and tell people that I am a good person. We need to do this now. And he recorded like 3, and all of the comments were making fun of him, so he just stopped. Top 10 funniest things that man has ever done in his life. That was amazing. That was just incredible. He's like, I don't even spend that much time simping for Israel, guys. And then he gave up because he literally can't handle criticism. He was like, well, Grok, how do I turn comments on TikTok off? Grok, remove anti-Semitic comments. Grok, help. Fuck.
Trying to do because, he lost. Number 2. Ethan vehemently denies that he worked alongside the ADL to get Frogan banned and claims it was anti-Semitic for Hasan to suggest that he did.
I have never spoken to the ADL. That's a defamatory
Meanwhile, when like all of us got banned, he's like, I'll take credit for that shit. Fuck yeah, that was all me.
claim that has zero proof. And frankly, it sounds a little Jewish conspiratorial.
But guess who it sounds like did speak with the ADL?
Wait, what do you think caused the ADL and stuff to apply? Like, why do you think what's happening now is happening now?
I think, well, I can't say all of it. I think.
Hold on, what does that mean? Can't say all of what? And why can't you say it?
Like, I'm fine to be this cabal Discord Jew that meets up on Fridays with all the Jews across the world in the secret meetings. Like, I'll play that part. I have reached out to all of these organizations and give them information.
Seems possible to me that Ethan was a little bit closer to the ADL's involvement with Twitch than he would like to let on.
So if you're mad Frogan got banned, fucking I am laughing in your face. And I did that shit. I'll take credit for it. I fucking did that shit.
So you can kind of start to see how a close relationship between these two causes some optics issues for Ethan. And there are other possible explanations, like wanting to avoid anti-Semitic tropes.
Sounds like a little Jewish conspiratorial.
Or not wanting to be associated with Destiny.
I've talked to Dan Saltman, but also I don't think that that's Destiny, is it?
But I think reason number 3, why Ethan would downplay his relationship with Dan Saltman, might just be that Dan is kind of a massive piece of shit. We've already covered his blatant dishonesty and his threats against Twitch employees and their families, but Dan is also a notorious and open doxer, something that Ethan should be principally opposed to.
Here's the mods doxing our office. Yes, this is actually a real screenshot. This is fucking insane.
Does Ethan just not know that his business partner does this too? He's pretty public about it.
There's one of Hasan's moderators, the guy named Comrade Lamb. He's been calling me a pedophile, and I did a subpoena and got his information, his full information. It was quick, surprisingly.
Wait, really? You can just do that?
Yep.
Stop! No!
That's lit.
No, you don't do that shit on my stream.
Here's him then tweeting a photo of that person as a minor, obviously censored here. And here's him trying to intimidate the spouse of somebody who was saying weird stuff about him online. So, that's crazy to do. And while there are more examples of Dan's behavior we could go over, I don't really want to draw attention to most of it. And we don't really need to anyway. Dan openly tells us who he is. And who he is the exact type of person that Ethan claims his enemies are.
It's just pathetic the way you lie about your perceived enemies. You don't care about the truth at all. For you, it's just about destroying your enemies.
If you don't play the game, you're like so fucked, right? Do I personally care about Kaya? I could give a fuck about Kaya, just like I could give a fuck about Lonerbox's dog or anyone else's dog. I ain't met the motherfucker. That said, yeah, it's fair to push this because it hurts Hasan, and Hasan is a bad person, and the goals are accomplished as a result of that.
You people are scum. You have dedicated your lives to harassing
He's a bad person. Okay.
me, my loved ones, my crew. You are disgusting, vile, fucking pieces of shit.
Sometimes there are people and you can't get to them. Then you have to start going to the people that they care about. This costs me nothing. I can keep going.
And you have the audacity to claim other people are bad people, bro? What the fuck?
I can't be stopped. I can't be reasoned with. You do what I say, or I'll keep going. And I'm fine to keep going. I do kind of enjoy it a little bit.
Relentless slander, straight up lies, defamation.
All that matters
Defecation.
is the general public having an optics on something. No, I'm saying that's how the game is. That is the game.
You don't play the game. You don't play it strong enough.
Here's the mods doxing our office. This is fucking insane.
This so-called doxing that happens, at least it's not like Hasan waving a gun around. Jesus Christ.
Wait, did you dox someone in the past or what?
I'm just saying it's not like Hasan's doxing.
Ethan has spent 2 years going after liars, doxers, and harassers, which makes it a little awkward that one of them is apparently his vacation buddy.
The BB gun that he had on stream and showed to stream? I can't. Doxing is actually when you have a gun in your home. Doxing is when you have an airsoft gun and you're like, look, Dad, I have my gun. You guys know the meme of like, it's usually about like cyclist, and it's like, it's one guy that looks really mad. It's like kind of like stick figures, and he's like, it's like bicyclist on the left. It's like, I just want to ride my bike. And then the guy on the right says, it's like a car cell, and they're like, I literally hate you and I want you to fucking die. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? This meme, or has no one seen this meme and I just sound like a crazy person? There's an edit of this one that's like, it crosses out the I like playing with toys, and it's like, I like to ride my bike. And then there's one guy that's really mad. He's like, I fucking hate you and hope you die. This meme. I don't know, maybe there's another one of No, this is the meme. This is the meme I'm thinking of. Why did I bring this up? This is the equivalent. This is Hasan being like, I have an airsoft gun. Look, chat. And then this is Dan Saltman. I fucking hate you. Like, This is literally worse than doxing. Having an airsoft gun is literally worse than doxing.
He's in a pod, these two, I'll tell you. I don't want to spend any more time on Dan because I think he gets off on this shit. So Dan Saltman doesn't get an award. So to me, it's quite obvious that these people have zero standards. None of this was ever about harassment or defamation or doxing because the Kleins don't actually think those things are bad. They just don't like that it's happening to them. Ethan doesn't care. He thinks you're stupid. He thinks he can make up justifications and explanations for his behavior that people will buy. And they do. All of these guys have been pushing a completely dishonest agenda, each for their own reasons. For some of them, it's clout. For others, it might just be stupidity. And for some, they just want you to be looking at somebody other than them. But they've all willfully pushed these lies, and in the process, they've eroded any standards we used to have for political and commentary creators. Things like doxing, abusing copyright, and harassing smaller figures into silence shouldn't be permissible, but your favorite streamer has convinced you that they are, because remember,
Hasan Bad. Ethan looked so weird and off-putting during the content nuke. A suit just isn't the best look on him. Well, yeah, he just started like wearing, he wore like a suit once, and then I think I accidentally baited him, or maybe unintentionally, or maybe intentionally baited him into wearing more suits. Because he was looking at my GoFundMe, and I was like, he was covering it on stream, and then I wrote in the GoFundMe while he was covering it, I was like, nice suit, King. Looks good. And then he didn't stop, and then he wore a suit every single day for like the next at least month of podcast episodes. And when someone asked him, he's like, I just like how this does. I just like how it looks. If a man is to be judged by his enemies, then I am well off, for I have the honor of being hated by the most worthless of men. Dude, so true. I'm just saying, guys, look at the people who don't like me, man. You got fucking Rape Tone, you got the mold man that's his teeth are falling out of his fucking mouth. You got Poopy Klein. who else is there? I don't keep track of all of them, and a bunch of slop tubers. That's it. Those are. Oh, I think I don't know if Nux Taku's talked about me at all ever. I can't listen to his voice for more than 5 seconds at a time, man.
You look around the scene, right, and you see people like Hasan Piker with his crocodile tears. This was his reaction to the shooting. I cannot believe this hypocrite who's been advocating for political violence for years, now pretending like he's shocked something like this would happen. No, dude, not you. You are disgusting. I am so tired of this man and his violent rhetoric, crying on stream. No, not you, man.
Did we ever get to like the bottom of why this guy has a VTuber model of a twin-tailed, flat-chested girl? Why did we ever get to the bottom of that? Has anyone solved that mystery yet, or no? Okay. I think in your heart you know the answer. Yeah.
It's so obviously a call to violence. You're obviously wrong for saying it. There's no justification at all to say something like that.
I feel like I've seen a few different clips of Hasan saying like, we don't really know for sure if Kamala would have been different.
And once again, we have Hasan engaging in activities which may very well violate California law.
Sam Cedar, another one I'm ready to burn, because he also like protects Hasan at all costs.
God, I fucking hate Hasan so much. Hasan is a fucking stupid, tanky, jihadist, apologizing piece of shit. Fuck Hasan. What a fucking asshole.
Because Hasan is the most unlikable human being on
Dude,
earth.
saying that as Takedown is so fucking funny. Takedown, literally no one likes you. Fucking Takedown with the most awful voice you've ever heard in your life. No one likes Hasan Piker. No one likes him. No one. Like, it hurt my voice to do. How the fuck does he do that? Jesus.
Earth unless you want to have sex with him.
Like when we go to his channel, I gotta stop talking about Hasan so much, to be honest with you. It just bothers me that like
his camera is just so small and it bothers me.
Okay, so you think that Hasan is not fun to talk to about anime?
I think normalizing Hasan is dangerous.
Because there's genuinely so much to attack Hasan for. Every day there's like a new thing to bash Hasan over the head with. Because he's just so fucking stupid and malicious.
I genuinely do believe that Hasan is one of the worst people on the internet.
Hasan Piker is the most dangerous person that if you're over the age of about 35, you've probably never heard of.
So Hasan is one of the most terrible human beings on earth.
At least your villain, Ethan Klein, showed real emotion. And when he discovered the news on his podcast, he was sobbing. And I believe
I must have not seen the patch notes of like all of the things. Hasan is, I guess, personally responsible for like lighting a school bus filled with kittens on fire and then sending it into like a retirement home or something. Like, what are we doing?
his tears. I don't believe Hasan Piker's crocodile tears.
The people that simp for Hasan who are like, he's hot.
The pit photo is crazy to do this while you're talking.
Whatever. It's so pathetic. Even if you think it's hot, it's so embarrassing. It's so cringe, guys. Please, I'm gonna fucking die.
I haven't seen you in pretty much never.
Yeah.
You want to be in my vlog?
Sure.
Oh my god, I'm gonna no! I've never seen this before! Dude, I'm telling you, this guy, like, Kilotonics, go. And this guy, if there's anyone that deserves more than 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, it's fucking Kilo, man. Go subscribe, dude. Subscribe and like and comment. Dude. Not fucking cool. Some of these clips, I don't even know where he's found some of these clips. I haven't even seen some of these clips. And I'm getting sued by this guy, or by Ethan at least, and I've never seen some of these clips. Stop. Do you want to be in my vlog?
Starting it up.
Oh hell yeah! I just started vlogging recently as well. I feel you. It's hard. It's awkward.
Yeah. I came here to say thank you.
Wait, why? No, thank you.
For supporting Teddy Fresh so much.
Thank you for the big baggy pants. I love them so much. Oh my god.
Well, have a good show.
Thank you. Bye everybody.
Dude, stop. This is defecation, man. This is defecation, dude. Dude, Hila's gonna go on the show tomorrow and she'll be like, Kilo Tonics, another one, I'm ready to burn.
On YouTube for the past few years, there's a big industry that's exploded in popularity, and it's based on a simple concept. Hasan Bad, Hasan Piker is bad, and he's dumb, and bad and a terrorist, probably. We can call this the Hasanabi Dunk Video Industrial Complex. It's common for YouTubers during low view months to join in on the fun and make these types of videos, taking short clips from Hasan's thousands of hours of live streaming to misrepresent what he's saying, usually parroting the exact same talking points they're getting from the same YouTubers in the same community. They're watching each other's videos and making each other's videos. It's kind of like a perpetual cycle of dumb guy slop. It's interesting to see YouTubers that typically cover TikTok drama and gaming content randomly giving their opinions on genocide and geopolitics, but that's the result of such an ecosystem. It's not about the politics, it's about making money by attacking a guy they don't like.
That was Noah Samson, who I briefly mentioned earlier. Noah is a 28-year-old video essayist with over 500,000 subscribers. That video came out over a year ago, and Noah keyed in on quite a few relevant things. He explains that when Ethan's commentary on Israel and Palestine is almost exclusively antagonism towards people who, above all else, morally object to the genocide in Gaza, it sort of has the function of supporting genocide, because as Noah puts it,
the arguments they're attacking him for are anti-genocide arguments. So these creators, they're positioning themselves in opposition to him and his arguments, de facto positioning themselves on the pro-genocide side. Anti-genocide is pro-genocide.
Which isn't really that unreasonable. And when you think about it that way, it further illustrates that the widespread Zionist perception of Ethan is really just a product of his own behavior.
Let's bring an Iraqi terrorist group to your neighborhood and you just go out and be slaughtered, and your mom be slaughtered, and your kids be slaughtered, and you burned alive. And again, I'm saying that I support Palestine. I don't know how more I can express that,
But Noah also lays out the thing that we've been demonstrating for the last 3 hours, that there is a massive and corrosive financial incentive to make content that paints Hasan Piker in the worst possible light. And it's gotten worse since he made that video. Guys like More Pegasus, Sensitive Society, and WestJet have virtually perfected the craft. And it's not just creators, there's an entire network of entities across multiple platforms, all feeding off each other to spread misinformation and baseless character attacks about Hasan. Places like LSF on Reddit or Yeet on Twitter.
To be fair, LSF is like AstroTurf to fuck. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but I don't even know that it's people there anymore. I'm pretty sure like 90% of LSF is like fucking botted as shit. Like, it's truly dead internet theory. The thing that makes it obscene is that, like, any people that used to go on LSF just don't go on LSF anymore because the vast majority of the normal people who had any dissenting opinions ever just all got banned. And it's like, well, why the fuck would I? Okay. All right, man.
Function as dedicated anti-Hasan news networks that feed back directly into the machine. A clip gets posted, a creator makes a video on it.
And the crazy thing too is if you go to like other subreddits, you'll very quickly realize how, just like truly how astroturfed LSF is. Like go to any other subreddits, and you'll see like they have similar, do you subscribe to a subreddit? I don't remember the term, whatever, following a subreddit or whatever. They have as many users that are part of that subreddit with posts that get way more views, way more likes, way more comments. The reason is that LSF used to have a lot of people that went on and commented, and then most people just got fucking banned. It's like, oh, well, I don't know. I think Extra Emily's not that bad. And it's like, you've been permanently banned. I've literally seen before comment sections in LSF be like, it'll be like, Hasan Diddler Piker, being annoying again. And then like the next comment is like deleted, and you go and see what the deleted comment is with one of like those Reddit websites that lets you see that. And the reply was, yeah, whatever, Sex Pestiny fan. And the comment from the mod is, you have been banned for a lack of civility. It's like, do you see nothing wrong with this image? Do you see absolutely nothing is wrong with this image? Nothing? Nothing is wrong with this image? It's only a lack of civility if you use those terms against people we like. That's why the subreddit gets like no movement at all. The only movement that's on there at this point is like bots and like the very few fucking like Sex Pestiny fucking C Samstony viewers that still go there.
The news networks post clips from.
I thought they got the new mod that got interviewed. Yes, the only thing that I think the problem is I don't think that the new mod can undo the damage that the old mods did to LSF. I think it's just like I think a lot of people just don't want to go on there anymore. Because it's like, whatever. It's just a fucking wasteland anyways. And think about it this way. This is the best analogy to use. If you went to a restaurant for the very first time and they served you food that was like sour, you were like, I don't think chicken is supposed to taste that way. Or like they served you food that was like moldy and you're like, that's enough that it would take a lot for that restaurant to earn your trust for you to go back again a second time. You would be like, no, I'm good. I'm good going there ever again. It's the same thing with a subreddit. It's like you get banned for bullshit. It's like, fuck you guys. And then you move on to other subreddits, into other places, into servers or whatever. And then you see that you got unbanned off of LSF. You're like, I don't really care anymore at this point. I've got way more things to enjoy in life. I'm not going to go to this fucking place that served me moldy fucking chicken.
Those videos, it's this bizarre.
That's basically my experience with LSF. Yeah. And again, like you go and look at other subreddits and for the same number of like members in the subreddit, the posts have way more interactions and the posts are way more normal in terms of like the comments that they get and the dissenting opinions that they get. Whereas LSF, they'll just start writing, like the comments will have like fan fiction. Like straight up, it'll be like complete lies. It's like upvote 100. And then one person corrects one of the lies, downvoted 100. It's like, okay.
Incestuous cycle of people just jerking each other off about how terrible Hasan Piker is. It's funny, for how much Ethan Klein cries about an organized harassment campaign, you would be shocked at how organized Hasan Bad is.
Fucking A, let's go. Ethan Klein, Destiny, Dan Saltman, who else is there out there that is pushing the fuck Hasan narrative? There has to be more of us.
Well, it's happening organically because people realize that Hasan is a crazy person. Yeah.
He is a bad guy. I am so happy that I could be part of this movement to destroy this fucking terrorist motherfucker.
So this goes beyond a genre.
My biggest pride in life, being part of the destroy Hasan Piker movement. Dude, and like, sometimes I wish that the internet was like the wild, wild west, like back in the day, so you could say things that you would normally be able to say in like in like a league game, and you can't say that. God,
like
just fucking FF, man. Come on. Just hang up the white flag and admit that you fucking lost, bro.
Entire ecosystem. But the attacks on Hasan are also often exaggerated, misleading, or even outright false. And as we've already seen, there's quite the ragtag band of rapists, liars, and complete morons that are most responsible for pushing them. So all things considered, it can be a little difficult to parse what information about Hasan is actually real. So to wrap up this video, let's go through some of the most sensationalized and infamous claims about Hasan Piker and see which ones hold up. Let's start with one of the most widespread and craziest headlines about Hasan that still gets repeated to this day. Hasan visited a brothel in Germany that was raided for trafficking minors. Now this story comes in a few different forms depending on who's telling it. You've got Dan, who very strategically says that Hasan visited a brothel that was later raided for human trafficking. Taku more aggressively states that the brothel was raided for the trafficking of at least one minor. And on the most extreme end of the spectrum, Destiny outright claims that Hasan literally raped a 15-year-old. So here's what actually happened. A long time ago, Hasan visited the legal Artemis brothel in Berlin, which is a pretty famous and reputable establishment. In 2016, this brothel was raided on suspicion of human trafficking, but the entire process, which involved 530 investigators, yielded no results. In fact, the authorities recommended no changes to the brothel's employment process or working conditions. And in present day, they're actually 100% compliant with Germany's Prostitution Protection Act. When the public prosecutor's office tried to salvage some remaining charges out of this case, the court rejected all of them. And it's noted here that it's rare for an indictment in Berlin to be considered so weak that it doesn't even open a trial. As a result of all of this, the local government publicly apologized to the Artemis brothel and compensated them almost $300,000.
Didn't an op of Hasan's put out a reward that if any of them came forward with a Me Too movement, and of course no one did? Jesus Christ.
$1,000 for damages caused. Now
Ross did that? Shut up. No, he didn't. Stop. Do you believe in Pangea or the Big Bang Theory?
One truthful element to this story. The raid was prompted by a witness whose abusive older boyfriend had been forcing her to work at the brothel.
And then Meteor happened. All right, fine. I can't mention it and then not play it. Look at this. God, and the haters are so dumb. Why do you support terrorists? Conservatives have way more views. There's no way I'm going to be able to find the clip of Tim Pool talking about how every single conservative literally pays for their viewership. That's literally the conservative ecosystem. They pay for ads and for their videos to get shown as ads so it gets viewed as a full view on Facebook and on YouTube and on Instagram. The Milo clip, yeah. I don't, actually, maybe the Majority Report episode might have it. It's crazy that people still don't know about this, by the way. That people still don't know that conservatives are like... I think it would actually still in this context be called AstroTurf. No. Yeah, this one. These are two conservatives literally talking about how everybody does this.
That right-wing people will go and get investors, billionaire money, and they buy engagement, they buy followers, and they sort of propel themselves to the top of the heap, and they fake it till they make it, and then eventually it's kind of sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Everybody does that.
Everybody just not does that.
Well, we've never done anything like that.
This is the reason why, by the way. It's because they fucking bought and buy their way to the top and then convince everyone, oh, see, I know, I swear. We're super popular. Our views are super popular. And they're not. But okay. Anyways, LOL. Proof, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would say that two conservative creators talking about how everybody buys their way to the top in the conservative landscape actually is the closest you can get to proof. Actually, yeah. All right. What were we doing? Wait, no. Pangea. Let's move on.
And she was reportedly underage. Her pimp was sentenced to 7 years for this. But this was just one criminal using it.
Wait, what the hell are these roach logs? Where? Totally right. People ever hear of Black Panthers? Everyone here in this chat has never lived in the hood. Better than Ilmar. I will tell this chat, have you seen people who are actually combat soldiers? What color are they? Combat soldiers in the military are white. I think this might be a bot. Either that or someone with severe CTE. So if I make a channel and just talk out of my ass, it's true. I mean, that's currently what you're doing, bro. You have a channel, you're talking out of your ass, and you think it's true. You're already doing it, buddy. That's enough attention for you. Could you type in chat really quickly? The timeout feature on here really sucks. And it automatically times out for 10 seconds. But in Chatterino, it lets me pick 2 weeks. So if you could type so I don't have to scroll up in chat and I could just click your name, it makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, I have to sit there and type timeout for 2 weeks. And I don't really feel like doing that. Could you just send a message like art or something? I don't know. It doesn't matter, like literally anything. Oh, you guys can tag him. Tagging him works too. Thanks, guys. Okay. Come back in 2 weeks. Maybe you'll be less annoying. All right.
An otherwise legal venue to exploit somebody. This wasn't the brothel itself trafficking kids. And the only reason you would ever care about someone supporting a business where something like this happened is if the business itself did something that led to it happening. And following an extremely thorough investigation, a court rejection, and a formal apology from the city, that pretty clearly seems to not be the case here. So if you're telling me your standard is that all 100,000 people who visit the brothel each year are child rapists because of this one isolated incident, I just think you're lying. It's been speculated that the primary reason for the raid was actually that the city was missing out on substantial tax revenue because of the pay structure of the workers. Now, we can't know if that's true or not, but it is entirely possible that this whole thing had almost nothing to do with that one incident at the brothel. And to top it all off, that lone isolated incident happened 6 years after Hasan visited Germany. So this entire child trafficking claim about Hasan is built on a story about one.
Dude, it's like these people are here specifically just to prove the point of this video. Look, like literally look at the people that don't like Look at the people who don't like Hasan. Like, I donated 3K bits. You owe me. See my Twitter. Stop ignoring me. You're not alive. You think I'm spent. I am #1. Thank me. Why does Denims go to defense for Hasan? What's wrong with all of them? Why are they all weird?
One incident that happened 6 years after he was there.
Huh? Nah, bro. I mean, if nothing illegal happened, visiting a brothel is nasty work. Why? Because it's just like morally wrong. Okay, why is it morally wrong? You're not going to just say like, because I think it's bad to give money and then have sex. You're not going to say something that's stupid, right? You're going to actually build an argument why it's morally wrong. Spiritually, it's physically violent. Is it spiritually or is it physically? Spiritually, I'm physically beating the shit out of you in a boxing ring. Spiritually. You don't need any more CTE. I take it back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
At a brothel that was never even charged with anything and was compensated for the investigation. And as a side note, I also want to mention that Artemis ended up donating said compensation to a children's hospital. So, happy endings. This whole story is really just a lazy way to desperately try to attach bad things to Hasan's.
Sorry, I apologize. You're wrong. You're right, chat. You're right. He said psychically. He did say psychically. But like, I misread it. I apologize. You're right, chat. He said psychically. I apologize. I misread it. Unfortunately, I don't think it makes it any less intelligent. Or sorry, any more intelligent. Spiritually, it's psychically violent. It demeans a person's divine spark. It's vampiric and consumptive. Yeah, this is how I feel if you get a blowjob. I think blowjobs are psychically violent because they're vampiric in nature. You don't get blowjobs, right, bro? Because that would be fucking disgusting and morally wrong, right? I mean, someone is literally sucking the spirit out of you. You don't do that, right? You don't enjoy it. God forbid you experience pleasure during it, right? It is what it is. Oh, isn't that cute? When it comes to things that you like, you're like, but blowjobs are good. They make my pee-pee hard and I like it. What the heck? No. Stop. Don't say that. Stop it. No, I like when it happens to me. Oh, I don't like when other people do this thing for no reason from some shit I made up. Brothels are evil, period. I think users who are named M. Katsky are evil, period, and are going to hell. In fact, computer, send them to hell. Computer, send him to no blowjob hell where he'll never receive another blowjob for the rest of his life. Computer, do it to him. You've been reprogrammed.
Name.
I said that Hasan Piker visited a brothel that was later raided for suspected sex trafficking. Actually, Hasan wasn't there. Yeah, that matters. Yeah, that matters. And misleading. That matters.
So while the underlying facts about this claim are somewhat true, the implications about Hasan that people...
I apologize, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to say one last thing, which is something a chatter said, just to make the point more clear. If you think sex work is inherently violent, that says more about your relationship with sex than anything else. Ding, 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 ding. You got it. If your first thought is, well, I would hire a prostitute to do a bunch of violent things. Huh? How are you saying? Oh, wow. Well, you know you're talking with your mouth and we can hear it.
Will make from them are deliberately misleading. Next claim. Hasan threatened to kill a U.S. senator. You may remember from earlier that one of Taku's tweets actually alleges that Hasan has threatened to kill 2 U.S. senators. So no, this isn't about Rick Scott, this is about Tom Cotton, senator from Arkansas, who in 2024 posted a tweet encouraging people stuck behind pro-Palestinian protesters to take matters into your own hands. He then went on Fox News and suggested that in Arkansas, protesters would be thrown off of bridges.
If something like this happened in Arkansas on a bridge there, let's just say I think there'd be a lot of very wet criminals that have been tossed overboard, not by law enforcement, but by the people whose road they're blocking.
Hasan, in response, quote tweeted Cotton with a diagram of the homemade shotgun used in the assassination of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. So is this a threat? Technically, yes, in the same way that Hasan technically threatened that chatter that was calling for his hanging. But to be clear, an elected official was calling for violence against the American public, and I'm supposed to object to somebody using a meme to threaten him back? Look, maybe this is just me, but if our elected leaders start threatening us with violence, frankly, I'd kind of hope that someone would threaten them back. So you can say Hasan's response here was irresponsible.
Excuse me, it's only okay when the sitting Congress people say that they want us to fucking die so that they can get one more blood diamond. When we say it back, that's literally the most violent thing a human being has ever done, ever. It's called arts and crafts. Shut up.
Or stupid if you want, but to say Hasan threatened to kill a US senator while ignoring that it was a response to a call to violence is at best seriously misleading. Next, Hasan said that Hila Klein was a valid military target. This one got picked up everywhere. Ethan and Hila started claiming that Hasan was calling for violence against her, and Asmongold was similarly flabbergasted.
If somebody attacks Hila Klein, they're gonna go to jail. Why is he telling people this? Why would he be what is wrong with you? He's making a direct call for violence. That's insane. Oh my God.
But here's what Hasan actually said.
Like any kind of violence that Israeli settlers or the Israeli military experiences in the West Bank is literally legal. It is legal resistance against an occupying military force. I cannot repeat this enough. Every type of armed resistance against both the settlers and also the Israeli occupying force in the West Bank. Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcasters like Wife that participate in these raids. The violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal, definitionally legal.
So clearly Hasan is
These people would live in the fucking Star Wars universe and like they would be the ones building, well actually the bots are building the Death Star. They would be like friends or like married to the person who's firing the Death Star off. And you're like, dude, like we should like attack the facilities of the people that are firing the Death Star. And they'd be like, oh, why is no one doing anything about this very serious threat? You know, my sister works on the team that built the Death Star. Excuse you. You know, someone should really do something about these terrorists. It's like, how is nobody else seeing this? I don't understand. I don't understand. The Death Star literally created my job. It literally is a job creator. Okay? I'm not even into, okay. I've watched like 2 Star Wars movies and not the good ones, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I watched like the 2 bad ones. And also I have watched Andor. And outside of that, I've really not watched anything else Star Wars related. But I keep getting these Star Wars reels on Instagram that are really funny. Where it's like your drunk uncle who is pro-Empire talks to you over the holidays or something like that. And they're really funny. They're like really good. Maybe I can figure it out. Hold. I can't figure it out. What? I watch Porn Star. Me too.
Discussing international law as it relates to resistance against military forces in illegally occupied territory. He says that violent actions against settlers who are conducting military operations in these territories is completely fine, and included your favorite podcaster's wife probably as a jab at Hila to be a little bit of a shithead. But for context, many people often dismiss Hila's role in the IDF as being just that of a secretary, despite her at one point volunteering to participate in a highly questionable night raid into Ramallah.
You told me once you went on like a mission with them to like a terrorist city.
Yeah, they took me with them one night, even though they weren't supposed to. I just wanted to see what it's like.
So Hasan was quite obviously not saying that somebody should attack Hila Klein. He said that people engaged in military operations in illegally occupied territory are, under international law, valid targets. Like Hila,
the terrorist city Ramallah. It's still so funny that they get triggered over the fact that people call her the Raider of Ramallah. She literally said she was excited to go on a raid to terrorist city Ramallah. What do you want us to call her?
Would have been while she was doing that. So whether Hasan is correct or not, the way the Kleins presented his statements here, and the way many people subsequently reported on them, is completely wrong. Alright, next. Hasan called babies valid targets. So this one stems from the final episode of The Leftovers on October 12th of 2023, where Hasan and Ethan are discussing comments made by another creator who argued that all Israelis are occupiers, not civilians. Here's the clip that got circulated around.
Palestinians have the legal
ground to violently seize back their own homes from these.
I think it was this one.
Who is that guy? I don't think you're understanding just how deep the corruption of the Republic goes. You want to talk about slavery. The clones, bred for war. No choice if they truly want to fight. That's slavery. The Jedi, taken from their parents before they develop conscious thought and indoctrinated into a mythical religion. That's slavery.
Your separatist uncle after a few drinks.
Wake up to reality. What if it's literally as simple as thinking Count Dooku is that guy? I don't think you're understanding just how deep the...
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. Let's finish this video, guys. We're gonna finish this goddamn fucking video.
Settlers. This is a reality, and that is precisely the reason why they have to exist under endless occupation in the West Bank.
You know what? And that's why I say, if it was settlers, that would be a lot more understandable. Yeah. But let's not obfuscate, okay? I understand what you're saying, but this dude just called babies militants.
No, I understand. And there are baby settlers as well. But there are baby settlers as well. There are babies in the settlements.
This very truncated clip got picked up everywhere. Stitch and Adam, for instance, cut a video titled, "Hasan claims babies are the same as soldiers." As a result, to this day, many believe that Hasan was implying that babies are valid military targets. But the clip
I mean, it's literally the same exact thing as the clip of me talking about the fucking child memories or whatever. It's like, we're so far gone from the fucking plot. Holy shit. They're like, Denims literally said you can do anything you want to children because they don't remember anything. It's like, what the fuck are you on about? Hello? You've lost your fucking mind completely. Oh my god. I described a phenomenon that everybody knows about, childhood amnesia. No one even argues that that's not real, that doesn't exist. Second, the entire purpose of that random tangent was to say this is them playing up victim mentality over and over again and pretending like a guy with a clipboard is going to be the most traumatizing experience that a child has ever had in their fucking life. You're just doing the perpetual victimhood again and again and again and again and again forever. And they're like, Denims is saying you can literally torture children. It's like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Oh my god. And in that same clip, I literally say, like, I don't condone calling CPS on anyone. I don't condone it. No one condones it. No one should condone it. I've never said it. I don't think you can find a clip of me saying it because I don't. And it's like, oh my fucking god, dude. Jesus. We're just gonna stretch it completely? Alright, sure, man. Whatever.
Conveniently leaves out what happened just minutes earlier. Hasan and Ethan are discussing JT Chapman's statements about there not being any civilians in Israel proper, as he considers it occupied territory.
If Germany invaded the United States and they said, you know what, Cincinnati, Ohio is our ancestral home, and you know everyone knows that's blatantly false, but they take your home, they murder your grandma, they bulldoze like your neighbor's house. Are those people civilians there? No, they're occupiers, and those are criminals. There are no civilians there.
Hasan and Ethan both go on to disagree with these statements.
I do not agree with that because I don't think that is a reasonable solution.
Do you think what he said is evil?
I think it is, one, unproductive, and two, it does not meet the realities on the ground, and it's not a viable solution.
And after a bit more discussion, Ethan asks Hasan directly about babies being combatants, which Hasan, in no unclear terms, rejects.
So calling, just to be clear, calling babies...
No, of course not.
Settlers...
Of course.
And they're not even living.
They're not.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
They're babies. You can't say this in 2023. I agree.
Thank you for agreeing.
So Hasan using the term baby settlers was just him clarifying what someone else was saying. And as for valid targets, this is another example of Hasan getting clipped dishonestly, when he explicitly said the opposite of what people are claiming he said. This one is also a lie. Moving on.
Aw, thanks. Thanks.
Hasan would put capitalists in re-education camps. This one also comes from the leftovers, where Hasan and Ethan are having a hypothetical conversation.
I don't even care if this is true. I literally don't even.
What implementing socialism would look like, specifically how you handle people that don't want it.
What do you do if they're like, nah, fuck that, we're doing capitalism?
Hasan's position is pretty straightforward. He doesn't think this would ever happen in an ideal society, obviously because it's ideal. So to him, it's kind of an inherently weird question.
If everything is given to you, if every single thing is given to you, if all of your problems are solved, then there is no need for conflict of that regard.
But he goes on to say that re-education could be a potential solution specifically for those that commit violent terrorism in the name of capitalism.
The solution to that would always be education.
Re-education?
Re-education, certainly, yeah.
Funnily enough, Ethan is the one that keeps introducing camps into this conversation, and Hasan has to keep saying no to it.
I know that that's like a
Let's
trigger
put them in
word.
camps.
No, not like that.
Well, China does that.
Are you talking about like resident schools? Are you talking about the
China has
Xinjiang? Yeah,
re-education
100%. They do. They do it. They did it in Xinjiang, which I
isn't
think
good,
was,
right?
No, I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't think it was good. This is something I have openly criticized as well.
So what would be good about a socialist re-education camp for capitalists?
I don't think it'd be camps. I mean, it depends on it depends on crime, right? Are people committing crimes at the behest of this?
So Hasan explicitly rejects camps, rejects the Chinese model, and is literally just describing criminal rehabilitation. For some reason, people just restate Hasan's words and frequently cite him as wanting to put any and all capitalists in re-education camps. But that's literally not what he said. This one is also...
I mean, so I've kind of gotten into some similar conversation about, for example, like, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. It does terrify me that there are parents today that exist that think that you should beat your kids. That, like, you just teach them a lesson sometimes. Like, that does kind of scare me that those people are real and they exist among us, and they're like, it happened to me, and look, now I beat my kids. It's like, that's not good. That's bad, actually. I don't know, man. That sounds not good, man. I don't know. That's weird that you're saying that out loud, man. That's weird because, you know, all of the research shows that at best, you don't inflict harm, and at worst, you're probably inflicting harm, and you're not actually doing anything good by, you know, beating your kid, and you shouldn't do that because it's not good. That's crazy. That's, you know? The solution to that is not to have, like, some fucking parent vetting. It's to set up, like, some type of incentive for parents to learn about, like, child development, right? That, hey, if you want this, like, free grant for, like, you know, $1,000 or whatever you are expecting in the next 6 to 12 months or whatever, if you have just given birth or whatever, the government has a stipend program. All you need to do is show up to the class, and if you pass the class, you get free money. That's it. If you don't want the money, you don't want the money. But if you want the money, show up to this child development class, and you can learn about development and how beating your kids is not good. Because anything else other than that, this is a crazy thing to say. People, and I mean everyone, says that until they alone have a kid, and that flies out the window. That's a crazy self-report, because let me tell you, I know people who've had kids, and they don't beat their kids, and they got beat. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, kid beater, bro. All right. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, there are ways to incentivize people with our current, like, economic structure that would benefit everybody. Because you don't want to go down the route of, like, you know, only these people can have kids. Because then you start getting into weird eugenics shit. And then generally what happens is all you're doing is preventing poor people from living. And you just set up this horrible caste system. But why can't we incentivize people to learn about it? I would love classes where people realize, oh, yeah, if you physically assault children, they don't actually learn any lessons. They just learn to be afraid of getting beat by you. Oh, okay. That would be cool. That would be cool. But that would be like a form of re-education, right? That wouldn't be a re-education camp. You're 100% correct, but we do have a lot of hard-headed people who would refuse to yield on this. Well, yeah, the goal would be to, like, have these programs be, like, productive enough that some people would change their minds. That it would at least maybe play some impact and some influence. So I don't know, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. All of that was just to say, you can have re-education programs that aren't fucking re-education camps.
Bullshit. The next claim is basically just something about Hasan encouraging violence. This one's a bit nebulous because it's not really any specific incident, it's more of a general vibe that people have.
It's like the terrorist sympathizer one.
Of that he just kind of broadly encourages violence.
Videos of Hasan's violent rhetoric.
He is the one encouraging violence on a regular.
I just wanted to read what one chatter said. Thank you for saying this, chatter. I've not once laid my hands on my kids. I talk to them and explain things and have open dialogue, and guess what? It works. My friends whose kids they spank are not as well behaved as my kids. It's not even close. Treating kids as human beings does work. Shocking behavior. Shocking development. Right? That, like, actually children are like human beings and you can explain concepts to them. Wild. But I'm like a super giga wokey McWoke. I would even, like, I don't know, I think I wouldn't go so far as anarchists go, but I saw this one post on my feed once and it was like, do you think kids should be able to take mental days from school? Like, you as a parent, would you ever give your kid a mental day from school? And the number of people I saw in the comments that were like, are you kidding me? My kid doesn't even pay rent. I'm like, what stress do they have to deal with? Dude, public school was very stressful. Public school was very stressful. Sometimes you just had teachers that hated you for no fucking reason. Sometimes you got bullied. Most days I got bullied. Sometimes you had pop quizzes and you weren't ready. You missed your homework. You didn't sleep well. There are a lot of things that are really, and then you're also like getting pumped full of fucking hormones because you're going through puberty. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, it's hard. Okay, it's hard. And I will tell you, I always appreciated. I would get like, I would say on average, like maybe once a month or once every 2 months, I was allowed to have like a day off and my mom just let me stay home. And I'd be like, I don't want to go to school. Like, teacher's really mean to me and I just need a day off. And she'd be like, well, how are your grades? And I'm like, good. And she would look at my most recent like report card or whatever. And she's like, yeah, take a day off. You are doing the dishes though. All right. And you are mopping. Listen, just because you're getting a day off from school doesn't mean you're getting a day off from home. All right, get your ass in the kitchen. And then once you finish the chores, spend the rest of the day doing whatever you want. I'm like, shit, man, you got me. Fuck. I'm going to knock this out in 3 hours and then I get to spend the rest of the day gaming. But like, you know, is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? And sometimes you're just like, dude, I had days where like I got just, it was hard to go to school sometimes. It was hard. And yeah, and like again, you literally, when you're growing up, you just like don't know the social rules and you don't know what you're doing wrong and you're doing everything wrong all of the time. And it's very stressful. At least as an adult, you have a pretty good understanding of like why people do certain things and how people will respond to certain things. When you're growing up, you're just struggle bussing. You're just struggle bussing until you figure it out, man.
Regular basis.
It's so obviously a call to violence.
I am so tired.
Denims, you deserved it. I'd have bullied your ass too. Denims kind of deserved to be bullied. This is annoying as fuck. TBH, you deserved it for that. Okay. I don't disagree is the problem, but truth nuke, I'm afraid.
Of this man and his violent rhetoric.
And look, Hasan absolutely uses incendiary language. He said things like this.
You need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this?
Which, I'm sorry, but that's just funny. But it's also just metaphorical. He's talking about political debates. He's saying Democrats need to be more aggressive and cutthroat in debates. It's not an actual call to violence, it's just being expressive and provocative. What you won't find if you actually watch Hasan's content is any encouraging or advocating for direct violence.
I don't think violence against civilians is justified.
I would never advocate for violence against a political enemy.
Any kind of violence against civilians is completely unjustifiable.
I just think this high roading with Democrats is so stupid. Like, well, we wouldn't want to say anything that would make them mad. Girl, they've been calling you a fucking pedophile baby blood drinker for the entire election season. I think you can call him a rapist, actually. He is one.
Bad faith version of this stuff was on full display after Charlie Kirk's assassination, when certain people, like Takedown, used these obviously figurative expressions as evidence that Hasan openly calls for violence. And this happened again after the recent
Oh, thanks, Fenric.
assassination attempt on President Trump, when people like Short Feta Taku seemingly reflexively start blaming Hasan. But there is absolutely no evidence for this. In fact, that shooter seems to have been pretty openly oppositional to Hasan on social media. There's also no real evidence of Charlie Kirk's assassin being a Hasan fan either. So this idea that Hasan encourages any actual violence is very dumb, and the instances people point to as evidence for it are often entirely made up. So it'd be more honest if this critique was just that it's irresponsible for Hasan to speak the way that he sometimes does. But at that point, I just think you're kind of being a baby. Alright, next. Hasan shocked his dog. The story doesn't need much introduction. Hasan's dog, Kaya, appeared to yelp on stream when he reached for something on his desk, and the internet exploded with speculation that he used a shock collar on her. This prompted one of the most frenzied online news cycles ever about Hasan, where for weeks, #Collargate was all anybody talked about. Hasan denied using the collar. People analyzed every frame of the incident, and it still gets brought up to this day. Now, I will say, as far as whether Hasan shocked Kaya or not, based on all the available evidence, it's probably true. But here's the thing. Kaya is obviously a well-cared-for animal. She goes on multiple walks a day, she has regular playtime with other dogs, and everyone attests to how loved and spoiled she is.
I have the best dog. It's crazy. Like, if there was...
I want to say, I'm curious how he came to the conclusion that the evidence showed that she was shocked. I don't really care that he thinks that, to be very clear. This entire campaign was organized by Dan Saltman, so I don't trust it to begin with, because the source isn't good. But let's just continue, and then I'll keep going.
The dog Olympics, like, she literally clears it. She is the #1.
And shock collars, while not my preference, are a legal and still somewhat widely used training tool. This is basically the dog equivalent of spanking a child. You can disagree with it, and I do also, but the idea that this represents some pattern of abuse is pretty silly. And if Hasan does use a shock collar and then lied about it, I kinda get why. Considering this situation
The analogy is faulty.
to some people filing reports to have Kaya taken away. Does anybody really think it would be better for Kaya to be entered into the foster system rather than staying in the LA mansion where she seems to live a largely spoiled and happy life? Look, if you want to criticize him for using a shock collar, that's totally fine. That is a legitimate concern. But this story quickly stopped being about Kaya.
The reason the analogy isn't good is because, you guys ever, like, get zapped by, like, the fake chewing gum? The idea that all zaps are of the same voltage and that 10,000 volts is the exact same as, like, 1 volt is a little silly. You guys ever get, like, fake, like, handshaked and you get zapped? That's different from, like, spanking your kid. The experience of getting spanked is not fun. As someone who got the belt multiple times, it was never fun. And there's, like, maybe you could compare it to, like, hitting a kid's hand with, like, a ruler. Even that feels like it causes physical pain. You know what I mean? Like, severe physical pain. I don't know shit about dog trainers. Go watch Dog Trainers if you want to read about the intricacies of collars. My cats don't even have any type of collar, even though I think cats are so cute when they have little bells on them. But that's because I have a stupid fucking human brain, and I'm like, no, cats should be free. They're free creatures. I shall not put any, like, restraint on you. Be free, my worms. I feel wrong putting a little collar on them, on their neck, even though they're so cute. And obviously they don't care, and it's, like, fine, like a little bell. It's like, it's so cute. I'm just explaining to you my mentality. I'm literally just explaining to you my mentality. Pro bird murder? No, my cats don't go outside. My cats don't go outside. The only time my cat goes outside is when I put, and it's the only time she ever has, a harness on her. All right? So no, my cats don't go outside. Again, unless I have the full harness and the leash, and I'm there with her the whole time. That's just my opinion on animals. I'm like, at least with cats, I'm like, no, cats should be free. They shouldn't have any colors. They should be free to roam. And not, like, literally outside, but inside. And I shouldn't burden them with human tools, right? But that's just like an American, like, not American brain. That's just like stupid, dumb cat brain. And realistically, they're so cute when they have the little bell on them. It's so cute. Moving on from that point to a separate point. I don't know. I don't train dogs. I don't have dogs. I've never had a dog. I don't know anything about dogs. I think the only context that I have seen online about shock collars that I think most people would agree with is that very aggressive dogs that would otherwise be put down, trainers that use shock collars for those dogs that are already very aggressive, and the only other solution is euthanizing them. I think everyone probably is like, yeah, if they're not responding to anything else and the only other solution is to kill them. It's like, that's, I guess, I don't know enough. Kaya's always been really sweet though. And she's always been really polite. I mean, the times that I've met her, she's always been really, really sweet, which makes me think that he wasn't using a shock collar. Like, I don't know what behavior is so negative in her that he would have needed to use a shock collar. Like, it seems weird that he would use one. It just seems out of... I believe he would use a vibration collar. Maya herself literally said she would shock Hasan herself if she thought that he did. Yeah, because again, and this is just like a very layman experience, or like a layman understanding of dog training. The only seemingly good instance that you would ever use one would be a dog that otherwise has gotten into so many violent altercations with people or other people's animals that the only training method that they've responded to is the shock collars. And then I'm like, dude, this is like way out of my ballpark. I don't know. But again, Kaya's always been super, super sweet. The other thing too is like, I don't know why so many people watch this clip and were like, dogs don't randomly make noises. It's like, have you had a pet before? Ever? Ever? People were like, he had to have shocked her. Why did she yelp? It's like, first of all, I think it's pretty obvious from the clip that if she yelped at anything, it looks like her fucking dew claw got stuck. But second, as someone who's hung out with dogs and dog friends, because forget about the cats are gone, people. Let's forget about the cats for a second. I've hung out with dog friends and they're like, their dog will randomly be like, "Barr!" And they're like, oh, what are you barking about? Stop it. And then they just sit back down. And I'm like, does it just do that? And they're like, yeah. Sometimes they just get really excited, or I don't know. They like have a bad dream or something, and then they wake up, and then they just like. Sometimes this stupid dog that I have, it doesn't know how to run on the floor, and then it gets scared because there isn't carpet, so it starts to yelp because it's sliding because it's just a big idiot. I don't know. They're just kind of they're sweet big idiots, but they're just kind of sweet big idiots, and that's it. And I'm like, oh. Okay. Your dogs are very behaved and they're super sweet. So I guess sure. Sometimes if you raise your voice, a dog will yelp. One of my friends has a dog that if you clap, they'll bark. And every once in a while I'll forget and I'll be like, dude. And then it barks. I'm like, oh. And they're like, don't worry. He's a drama queen. He's literally a drama queen. I've had this big idiot for 10 years. He's never attacked or gotten near attacking anyone ever. He's just a drama queen. And then they were like, the only time that dog misbehaves is when they have to get their nails cut at the groomers because they fucking hate it. And that's the only time they've ever misbehaved. And I'm like, pretty good dog. And I said, pretty nice. So the point that I'm making is, and if he did shock her, why hadn't he done it before? She would be adjusted to it to not yelp. That's the other thing that's so bizarre. So much of like the basis of this had to have been a shock collar was like, she yelped. It's like, have you fucking had a pet before? If you think that there's a chance that it might have been a shock collar, that's sure. Okay, that's at least within the realm of reason. But this idea that animals have never yelped randomly for any what are we doing, dude? I think actually it was an explosive collar. I think the collar actually exploded. But yeah, I'm moving on.
And turned into yet another desperate scramble for a smoking gun to use against Hasan.
Do I personally care about Kaya? I could give a fuck about Kaya. That said, it's fair to push this because it hurts Hasan, and Hasan is a bad person.
I was literally listening to the Kaya thing live while I was in the car, and literally my first instinct was that her nail probably got caught on, or her toe got stepped on. It's the most dog shit ever.
Spending a month covering it, filing animal welfare reports, and demanding Twitch ban him over this. These just aren't really proportionate responses to what he actually did. So I don't know, man, this obviously isn't ideal, but to me, even as someone who doesn't eat meat and also likes dogs, it's just not that serious. Chill the fuck out.
And this is the other thing too. Pretty sure the probably true thing was a joke because this is the most obviously untrue thing. Here's the other thing too. I don't get the jump from it might have been possible that it was a shock collar to he definitely shocked his dog to he is abusing his dog. We're going straight to he's definitely abusing his dog. You're an idiot. Like, to go straight there. The most documented pet in the streaming space is being abused. And also, everyone who's ever met Kaya has said that she is the sweetest, most loving dog on the planet. Okay.
Next, Hasan supports terrorism. Even just engaging with this claim makes me feel like I'm losing on principle. And just to be clear, I don't really think that anything I'm about to say is particularly insightful. But what does supports terrorism even mean? Because if it means speaks positively of organizations that have been designated as terrorist groups by the US Department of State, then yeah, sure, he does do that. But when most people, especially apolitical commentators, say this about Hasan, that's not really what they're saying. They're using it as this severe moral condemnation, as though it's just self-evidently true that supporting any terrorist group is morally horrible. End of conversation. But if your definition of a terrorist is just whoever the government says is one, then surely you think anybody who supported the American Revolution or Nelson Mandela is a bad guy. That doesn't sound right. So if that's not your definition, and it's something more like someone who carries out political violence against civilians, then unfortunately groups like the IDF are also terrorists, and people who call their pilots heroes are supporting terror. I think there are basically two types of people who make this criticism. The first one, which is probably the vast majority, is somebody who just hasn't thought very hard about what terrorist actually means, or how the list of them is historically just determined by the interests of those in power as much as anything else. But the other much smaller percentage of people that make this criticism are probably just saying that he's supporting groups that they don't personally agree with supporting. But this sounds like
It's just like easier to say, well, he supports terrorists, but they can't actually back any of it up. It's so pathetic. My cats are terrorists. They're attacking me, a civilian. The thing that got me was it was all about how the original poster framed the clip. If you presented the clip to anyone without suggesting she was shocked, I doubt many people would have come to that conclusion. Yep. People still keep coming into his stream asking where the dog is because they like think he killed her, but she's literally on screen sleeping. Fucking bots. It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's so annoying.
Less of a moral condemnation and more like you just disagree. Like, are you saying your big moral issue with Hasan is that he supports the rebel group in Yemen instead of the Western-backed government, who, by the way, have likely killed far more civilians than the Houthis have? Norway is an example of a country that does have a list of designated terrorist groups, a list that notably does not include the Houthis. So if Hasan moved to Norway, would he then be all good to go on saying positive things about them? And furthermore, somebody supporting the cause of a group like the Houthis doesn't mean that they support all of their tactics.
Any kind of violence against civilians is completely unjustifiable.
Speaking positively of a group is not the same as endorsing every action they've ever taken, and collapsing that distinction is how you wind up with a completely useless definition of support. Now, there is obviously some utility to the word terrorism in humanitarian and international law.
Well, I support women, which means I also support every single woman who was ever a serial killer.
But that's just not really what's typically being discussed when most people say this stuff about Hasan. Most of them are just saying, he supports terrorism, and terrorism is bad, which is not really an argument. I have a lot more to say about this topic, but I'll keep it short and say that you're kind of telling on yourself if your big criticism of Hasan is that he, quote, supports terrorism. Because while he does express views that a lot of people find uncomfortable, his position on this is actually closer to that of a significant portion of international legal scholars, human rights organizations, and frankly a lot of the world outside of the West. I mean, hell, George Lucas made billions of dollars off of terrorism. So to be honest, I can't even really evaluate the truth of this claim, because it's kind of a nonsensical, thought-terminating criticism, and I don't even really know what the fuck people are actually saying when they make it. And speaking of terrorism, Hasan interviewed a terrorist. Let's keep this brief. Hasan interviewed Rashid al-Haddad in early 2024. He's a Yemeni influencer and self-described media personality and photographer. Hasan was under the impression before the interview that Rashid was affiliated with the Houthis, probably because of the nickname that people gave him on social media, but he quickly corrected himself when he realized that he wasn't. There is no evidence that Rashid participated in seizing any ships or has any formal Houthi association. People use really dumb pieces of evidence to say, oh no, he is a Houthi, like this Instagram comment, where he just says he is a soldier, which could mean almost anything, or the photos that he took on this captured vessel, which was open to the public for photos. But ultimately, it wouldn't really matter if he was a Houthi. Hasan should be allowed to interview terrorists on stream. There's just no evidence that this guy is one. Rashid is currently suing Ethan Klein for repeatedly calling him a terrorist. So based on the evidence that we have, this one's also kind of—
Abby Martin literally interviewed Hamas members. Well, she's literally a terrorist then. You're a fucking moron.
bullshit. And finally, Hasan is anti-Semitic. This claim could be its own video, and this one's long enough as it is, so I'll keep this brief too. The evidence that people cite for Hasan being anti-Semitic is either extremely amorphous and vague, or simply not good evidence at all. There's him calling a chatter pig dog,
"You fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dog! Suck my dick!"
which people claimed was an anti-Semitic slur, even though it doesn't appear in common anti-Semitism glossaries, and Hasan primarily uses it to describe capitalists and imperialists.
"You imperialist, capitalist pig dog, you fucking violent murderer of the third world."
There's him calling Orthodox Jewish settlers inbred, which was clearly just supposed to be an insult directed at people who subscribe to a racist ideology, not Jewish people as a group.
You know, the broad majority of the ultra-Orthodox are also unimaginably racist and very much pro-Israel. I can't wait for these inbred motherfuckers to have to serve and see what happens to the IDF.
And beyond that, most of the rest of it are just these nebulous, broader claims about his positions on Israel and how they point to an underlying bigotry. But almost every single example that people use for this often could be better explained by him simply being anti-Zionist. For instance, people often point to things like Hasan saying that rapes having happened on October 7th wouldn't change his perspective.
This one is probably the most annoying because I feel like the other ones are really easy to be very dishonest about. How do you fall for this one? How did anyone fall for this? I'm sorry, like in what world? Let's say like, just really quickly. In what world, if some group had a smaller group, which had a smaller group of people who did rapes, you think you should genocide all of them? That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. Huh? In no universe does that even make any sense ever. They get really mad before he even finishes the thoughts. Rapes don't make genocide okay. It's really that easy to grasp. Like, I just want to speak to the people who think that if the militia group, if a small portion of people of a militia group do any rape, you're allowed to genocide all of those people now? Okay. All right. Okay. Sure. You know, Catholic white people committed a lot of rape. So what? Now we just genocide all of the white people. That makes sense to you? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. How do you fall for such a stupid fucking propaganda? All right. This one just pisses me off because I feel like you have to be a certain level of stupid to fall for it.
Evidence of anti-Semitism, but that's not anti-Semitic. It's actually a pretty consistent application of Hasan's anti-imperialist framework. And if there's a perceived double standard in how aggressively he talks about Israel versus other actors, it could very easily be explained by his own family background in the Middle East, or the region's history, rather than automatically assuming it's just secret racial animus towards
Calling Turkish people Middle Eastern? Uh-oh.
Jews. He isn't uniquely fixated on Jewish institutions. He applies this same lens to American imperialism,
Everyone disliked that.
Saudi Arabia, capitalism,
I'm just kidding.
and plenty of other power structures. I think in 2026, if you look for anti-Semitism hard enough, you'll kind of see what you want to see. But the idea that this progressive, leftist, anti-class, equality-minded type of audience are actually secretly racist towards this one group of people, it's a pretty big stretch when these people are consistently anti-racist on every other axis. Now, the more sophisticated version of this argument is that even if Hasan never says anything explicitly anti-Semitic, his rhetoric still functions to foster hostility towards Jewish people, even if that isn't his intent. This is basically the functional racism version of the argument. It's the same thing as saying voter ID laws are racist. It's not because the people writing them necessarily want to disenfranchise black people, but because they do disproportionately cause that to happen. But for one, that argument requires you to subscribe to a view of racism that isn't really speaking to the character or intent of the individual, which kind of makes it have less bite. And two, that's if you subscribe to that framework, which I personally don't. So in my opinion, calling Hasan anti-Semitic isn't even misleading, it's just not substantiated. There are obviously a lot more claims we could go through, but the pattern is pretty clear. The lies about Hasan Piker that come from this side of the internet are pervasive, they're widespread, and an embarrassing number of them fall apart under even mild scrutiny. This video was focused on the drama and commentary side of this dynamic. Ethan Klein, the people around him, and what they've done to the content creation ecosystem over the last couple of years. But truthfully, this is only half of the story. Hasan also gets a hysterical level of hate from the more genuinely politically oriented crowd too, and that stuff could probably be its own video. But at some point, the commentary slop guys started getting courted by the politics sphere to the Hasan Bad cause anyway. And then when you have creators like Hutch, who covered Collargate for a month straight, and whose channel often looks almost indistinguishable from Nux Taku's, it's just at a certain point, these two groups kind of start to morph together into this big, neurotic mess, and it just gets a little hard to keep taking them as seriously. Now, there are decent criticisms of Hasan. For example, in his interview with Rashid, he laughs along at the idea of Houthi pirates dancing and having fun with their captives, which could be Hasan basically sanitizing a Stockholm Syndrome type of situation. If you're gonna have this type of interview, you probably need to come in more prepared to handle those moments responsibly. He's also an extremely sloppy communicator, and at a certain point, if you're getting clipped dishonestly this much, you gotta be doing something wrong somewhere. And there are plenty of these. You know, he does tend to moderate his views in contentious conversations. He does have some questionable opinions on oppressive governments. One of my big ones is that he has on occasion spread misinformation that I think he should retract or correct. There are fair critiques to make, but we sort of left the realm of reasonable, honest perception of Hasan a long time ago, and we're now in the land of Hasan is literally like Hitler. And this Hasan Bad virus has gone mainstream. Every week it seems like there's a new article from a big publication trying to convince people how terrible Hasan is, often citing these out-of-context clips or quotes that came from our side of the internet. Dan Saltman is even writing news articles now, pretending to give some thoughts on a senator.
News articles. Is that what we're calling it now? Alright, man. Yeah, and I'm a fucking news anchor, bro. Alright.
A race in Michigan, but in reality, it's just about Hasan. It's always just about Hasan. This is like kind of insane. Whatever you can honestly say about Hasan Piker, he isn't fucking dangerous. He doesn't deserve to be deplatformed. He's just a goofy Turkish dude saying crazy political shit from his gaming room.
If I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
Yeah, I can't wear my skirt in Tehran. I can't eat Kubi Day. Whoopee, don't you understand? I can't wear bikini to the beach. So obviously, they all need to die. We need to kill them.
So whether you're one of these Team Liberals people blaming Hasan for all their self-inflicted problems, or you're a slop commentary YouTuber who won't know what to do if you have to cover anything else, please, by all means, hate Hasan, but just be fucking honest about it. This whole Hasan derangement thing, especially recently, has gotten completely
Wait, this isn't the Denims News Network? Wait, you are my source for news? Wait a minute.
Control. Because
Heck, wait, I am an anchor.
What's kind of telling. Hasan, despite the smear campaigns, despite people trying to
Like, I get it for these people, for like the slop tubers. God forbid they actually have to like make content that isn't just Hasan Bad. Their brains might fucking break. I get it. Because it's like when you're farming, it's so fun to farm. But the thing is, it's like, it gets boring after a little. Don't you get tired? And like, especially when you have to be dishonest to do it. Like, we had some fun farming Ethan Klein for a little bit, and then it got boring. And I was like, alright, that's enough of that. I don't know. I'm tired of the poop jokes. We farmed Asman for a little bit, and then it got boring. It's like, yeah. Hard shift at the hate factory. Like, I understand. Have, like, a fun little farm cycle. I get it. But then go back to your bread and butter. The problem is the bread and butter doesn't exist. Like, we'll have our fun little farming cycles, and then we go back to, like, covering the, like, you know, whatever the fuck Trump is doing in the Middle East now. But they just never stopped. They just started the Hasan hate farm, and they just, like, got addicted to the clicks and the views, and then they just left.
take his dog. Despite being called a terrorist and an anti-Semite and a rapist, he's never sued anybody. He's never tried to get anyone deplatformed or gone after entire websites. It turns out, Hasan, not bad. Hasan, pretty good actually. Ethan Klein, on the other hand, just recently filed a lawsuit against Noah Samson for the opinion that Ethan was, through his content choices, running defense for a genocide. That's Noah's belief. Ethan wants to control whether Noah is allowed to express it. And every creator who's been profiting off of Hasan Bad, while also cheering on Ethan's anti-free speech behavior, should ironically probably be thanking Hasan for not holding them to the same standard that they're celebrating. You know, for not being like Ethan. The thing about people like Ethan, who try to convince people that they're wrong for expressing their opinion, for criticizing them, or even just for hating them, they are the ones with the problem. They're the ones who can't help themselves from going out of their way to read every word that people write about them. They're insecure, irrational thinkers who desperately want to control how people perceive them, and it drives them crazy that they can't. So whether it's Willie Mac, or iDubbbz, or me, or anybody else in this video,
Hasan suing Hutch would be the funniest fucking thing ever. That would never happen because Hasan doesn't care enough. Well, yeah, the problem is, like, I think also Hasan has, like, empathy for bald people. And he recognizes that suing Hutch would cause a lot of bad bald press. And I don't think he wants to cause that, you know?
talk your shit
He's
about
bald.
them. You shouldn't let somebody like Takedown convince you that you're the wrong one for believing that he's a sexual predator. Don't let Nicholas Deorio dissuade you from calling him out for being a giant pathetic loser. Talk your shit and let other people talk their shit to you. Even if you truly hate the guy, you should be a Hasan. Don't be an Ethan.
Damn.
Before we go,
You know, Ethan, because he can't resist watching any content or can't resist reading anything about himself, he watched through the whole thing and he probably got so pissed off by the end of it. But like the good little pussy that he is, he won't actually react to it on stream.
there's someone I want to introduce. It's a guy who's one of the great internet philosophers of our time, and he's somebody I think Ethan Klein would have a lot in common with. His name's John Card, and in his video on pirate software, he has something to say that I think applies to Ethan Klein perfectly.
There's some people out there in the world who think it's just inherently wrong or regressive or childish to hate people or to rail against public figures online or whatever. And those people are wrong. Wrong and just trying to run cover for all the other people in the world who deserve criticism. When do you find someone who deserves all the hate they're getting, and much, much more? Encourage that hate. Feed it. Remind yourself and others that it's perfectly okay,
Paradox of tolerance,
good even, to wish all the worst in the world on this guy and people like him. You shouldn't just merely dislike the man or simply disagree with his opinions. You should hate him and everything he stands for and represents.
Pretty funny. Stop, dude, stop. The crazy thing too is just like I'm actually an enlightened centrist about this one. If I can just be totally upfront and straight up with all of you, I think it's fine to be a hater. I think as long as you're not getting like as long as you're not crossing any lines that shouldn't be crossed, like obviously like anyone who does swatting on people, like you're a sack of shit, like don't do that. You know, death threats, rape threats, like stop. Just stop. Okay? There are, I don't even know the circumstances where those would ever be acceptable. I don't think that there are any circumstances where like a rape threat would ever be okay. Like I just don't think it exists. But the thing is, I'm fine with people getting mean comments written about them if they spend a lot of time saying mean things about other people. I have never once said it's fucked up that everybody sends me mean messages. I'm a hater ass bitch. I bring it upon myself by being a hater. And that's fine with me. I have never told people, stop sending me messages. Mostly because I do think a lot of the hate messages make me laugh. So I want them to keep going. I do think some of them are really funny. But ignoring that for a second, if you're a hater-ass bitch, and you spend a lot of your time being a hater-ass bitch, harassing other people. I was thinking of like Asmongold literally doing obscene stuff, getting people fired, like whatever. You don't get to complain that people are mean to you in your replies. I'm a hater-ass bitch. I make fun of people all the time. I call them pussy-ass bitches that don't want to debate me or whatever, that will invite me for the debate and then fucking dip and dodge and duck and weave. And I'll just call you a pussy-ass bitch. If you bullied me back, I'd be like, eh. The thing that I have an issue with is cry bullies. That's what I've always had an issue with. That is the number one thing that I've always had an issue with. If you are going to dish it out, you got to take it, man. And you'll never catch me being like, this person said that I suck and I'm the worst. All right. That's valid. I mean, I said your fucking internet daddy was the worst and he was stupid and dumb and whatever. Yeah, you're allowed to say that to me. Sure. I don't really care about your opinion because I went to your profile picture and all of it is about some lolicon feet images. So your opinion is worthless. Oh, you're someone who just AI generates photos of AOC in a bikini. Your opinion is worthless too. Okay. I'm glad that you dislike me. Actually, thank God you dislike me. You. Jesus, for a moment. Girl, what? No, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, it's a zoo out there. It's the Ethan Kleins of the world that I think are just so pathetic. It's like, you've literally built a career on bullying other people on the internet. You bullied Haas. You bullied I don't have a fucking full list. Countless people. And you would argue that it was okay for you to do that. But if people do it to you back and they say, you know, poopy Klein, you don't get to say, this is anti-Semitism. You guys literally had a fucking snark subreddit for frenemies, and it was practically dedicated to harassing Trisha Paytas, dude. Come on, man. Like, what exactly is what are we fucking doing, man? Like, for the love of God. Honestly, I don't know that there is anyone whose opinion you give a fuck about. Well, I care about, like, the opinions from people that are close to me, that are my friends. I care about that a lot. And I care about the opinions from people who I view as, like, intelligent and grounded. And there are a lot of people that fall into that group where I'm like, wow, like, if this person who I consider to be pretty smart is criticizing me, that is something worth listening to. The problem is when I, like, check the people that are criticizing me, it's like, I'm sorry, this guy, Taku, had a Discord server that had children getting groomed, and he was showing child hentai on his YouTube channel. What the fuck? This guy Takedown is sexually assaulting his ex-girlfriend? This guy, he just eats Oreos, so that's fine. Like, I can't let myself care about your opinion because I know your opinion doesn't mean anything. And it's that simple. It's that simple. Those kind of people actually hating you is actually a W. It also helps that, like, you can tell the intelligence of, like, a community or, like, a fan base by their insults. And the fact that the only insults I get, like 99% of the insults I get are whore and how's the lawsuit going? It's like, you guys are really dumb, huh? You can't come up with a single original thing? That's sad for you. I am sad for you. You made me a little sad, but not actually because anything you said impacted me, but because I'm sad for you. Your best insult was one you stole from 6,000 other comments. All right. That's okay, brother. That's okay. Your camera is too big. Oh, man. It only took us like we watched like 3.5 hours because we skipped some of these sections. But let's just say we watched the full 4 hours. It only took us 3 streams to get through 4 hours, guys. Oh my God. All right.